We're going to tab over to this screen. I'm going to turn some music on, and we're going to talk about what's been going on. The heroes that stand before you are the champions of the North. That is to say... Oh, that's not the right one. This is the one that I want. They proved themselves at a gathering of the various northern races, the Moot, to share ideas and trade and get ready for, as has been coined for this adventure, the nesting dolls of apocalypses that have been happening throughout the North. The party has decided that the place most in need of their assistance is the Icewind Dale, as the ice giants and their jarls are back amid the other giants coming back into the world, and Bryn Shander, for whatever reason, seems to be one of their targets. Making their way across the tundra to get there, they have encountered some Firstborn technology, allowing them to, re-equip, and in some cases, gain new... I'm not sure if Scout is an ability or an ally or both. But
the answer is yes.
Yeah, the answer is yes. And they found some humans fleeing the Dale who didn't really care for the presence of the party at large, given that they're very far removed from the soft folk, as they're referred to. And even in the Icewind Dale, the 10 towns, where folk are a bit hardier, they're pale in comparison to our heroes, and so they had a bit of an altercation. The party moved on from them before things led to bloodshed, but were called back by a desperate sounding of a horn to aid them, as the Frost Giants had set upon them as soon as the party had departed. The Frost Giants had with them some forgotten technology that the party had previously encountered, but were summarily defeated by the champions. And, well, they killed 6 Frost Giants, let's call it what it is. And before we could move on, they had to deal with the fact that Irithyr had used an electric spell to overload the piece of technology that the Frost Giants were using and the party had commandeered. We fade back in on that same scene, with Lash and Irithyr standing nearabouts to an overloading giant golden Aztec-style mask, and the corpses of Frost Giants scattered about. Now, I do have a battle map for this, as we discussed previously, but I don't recall... My internet is dying. I don't recall if this map is accurate. Have you guys moved the... Have you guys moved the, Oh, come on, Roll20, work with me. And for that matter, Streamlabs. Sorry, friends. I hope it's not lagging too badly on your side.
Do you have something updating in the background again?
I fucking hope not. I haven't dropped any frames, but my thing has gone to shit. Has my audio cut out at all?
Here and there.
Yeah.
Tiny bit. It's good for now.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm not sure if you guys have moved the mask away enough, or if you guys still need to do that. I don't recall. But
I don't think we moved at all, and I don't remember being over here on the battle map.
I was only able to get it that far away from us with my strength, and it was not very far, so we probably need Dawn to do it.
Okay. So we were still in initiative then. Yes, we were still in initiative.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so basically what happened is at the top of the round, come on, work with me. At the top of the round, it's stuttering again, 1 second. Sorry guys. I might need to restart my rig after this session. on. Work with me, please. Do. Anything that loads thrown is now crashing my stream for some reason. I'm not sure why. But that's no.
Oh dear.
If I mouse over anything, it completely frags the stream. Again, I hope the audio is staying where it needs to. Regardless, when we get to the top of initiative... No.
The audio sounds pretty consistent. I've got it underneath just so I can hear everything.
Okay, good. As long as the audio is consistent, that's all I care about. I'm gonna remove this turn order because it's hecking with my stream for some reason. I don't know if it's a Roll20 issue, if it's a memory leak on my side, or if it's Streamlabs, but suffice to say, I'm gonna let all of you take an action. And then at the end of everybody taking an action, this thing is gonna go kaboom. So
yeah,
what does everybody want to do? Like Thirga and Runyak, you can't really see it. You can't really see what's going on. But Erythir, Lash, you're acutely aware of what's happening. Dawn, you can see it. And Keely's not here, so that's kind of irrelevant. What do you guys want to do to deal with this thing?
You guys go ahead, because my sheet's not loading.
So it might be a Roll20 issue then, writ large.
Possible.
Could be.
We can work around it. It's fine. With all due respect, you guys, I'm gonna turn this audio off because I think that might be part of it.
Feel free.
Feel free.
Normally I've got music playing, I've got soundscapes going, but if it's gonna risk the stream, I'm not gonna do it.
That's
Sorry.
valid. All good.
It might not change it, or it might change everything. We'll see.
We'll see. Lash is basically going to try and, like, get people away from the shield and as far away from that thing as possible, because that thing explodes and a lot of people are gonna get hurt, like, bad.
Okay.
Now, here's an odd question for you, Fox.
Mm-hmm.
I can jail, right?
Yes, you can. I have an icon for jail now, by the way.
But can I jail something and then jail that jail?
No, because jail is concentration.
No double jail for
Right.
you.
What if I upcast? Can I apply both to the same spot?
I hadn't thought about it, honestly.
Does the spell specify? Sorry. Does the spell specify a creature or?
It specifies a target.
Okay.
But no, I don't think you can upcast it on the same thing because when you upcast it, you choose a number of targets for the same cast. I don't think you can do that to the same thing because that would allow you to stack healing, which I didn't want to do, and that would allow you to stack imprisonment, which I didn't want you to do. So I'm gonna say no.
Right. Damn, that would have been great though.
I mean, you can still jail it.
Yeah, no. Either way, I'm probably gonna jail it, but I'm gonna let others figure out what if they have anything they want to do first.
Okay.
Without any third level spell slots, I don't think there's anything Erythir can do here. Besides just like try to get people away.
I mean, that's fine. You and Lash can work on getting people away. That's fine.
Virgo will help in that regard too.
Okay. Runyak?
Yeah, I'll help out with the people effort.
Okay, so Dom, this is gonna come down to you.
Okay.
So you're gonna...
I'm gonna...
Yeah, go ahead.
We're just getting an action, right? I can't move around or nothing?
Oh, no, you can. You're getting a turn.
Okay. Because my thought is, it'd probably wreck my shield, actually. My thought is, like, run, grab my shield, and move it closer, and then jail the thing,
Okay.
and get the fuck out of there.
What's your movement rate?
40 feet.
Okay, so getting around the humans would be difficult terrain. So that's going to be most of your movement to get the shield.
What if we get the people out of the way first?
I mean, that's valid. You're low on the initiative count. I saw that much.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
are the people gonna get a chance to act, or is this a case of dragging them out of the way?
Oh, they'll move. If you guys are directing them, they'll move. It's fine. So yeah, so I guess if you guys move them out of the way before Dawn's turn, and then Dawn, you run up and pick up the shield, and move forward. And again, I feel really shit because I could show you guys all this. I could show you where Dawn is on the initiative count. I should have like mood music playing. Like I can't risk it. And I know I said that already, but I need to say it again. Like,
And it's fine. I get that it sucks, but oh well. We want to put on the show, and if something risks the show, we don't have enough.
valid.
Yeah.
So
These
At
things
least we have what we
happen,
have.
you know?
yeah, hopefully it'll clear up. Anyway, so if you want to run forward,
Yeah.
grab your shield, move up to the thing, that is your movement and your bonus action, and then your action would be jail. If your
Actually,
if your movement rate is 40 feet, you're not going to be able to get out again.
even after all the people are gone, I'd only have 10 feet.
Exactly.
So,
Would it be better?
That's not too bad. With an additional thought I've had.
Okay, go on. You're at 22 hit points.
Upcasting jail, right? Hear me out.
Oh, put it on yourself and the thing?
That's also a thought.
Oh, I thought that's what you were going to say.
I was about to be like, put it on the thing and my shield and hunker down behind the upped shield. But
Makes more sense to put it on yourself, and then you have five walls the illusion has to get through. Two from the jail, the shield, and then 2 from your jail before they hit anybody else.
it'll probably wreck my shield, but whatever.
I have a question real quick.
Yeah, what's up?
Us corralling the humans, would that be an action, or what would that be?
Probably. Why?
Okay.
No, what did you have in mind?
My mind was to give Gamzee a little bit of extra movement.
I mean,
But
Lash, Irithyr, and Firga are moving the humans, so if you want to buff...
I think instead of helping the humans, what I'm going to do is help Dawn.
Okay.
If you want, I could also expeditious retreat on him.
Although, if he's going to go up and turn himself into a wall, the extra move is not going to help him.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's up to you guys. Like
if you have... It might honestly be a bit better if you've got a way to give me a little bit more HP or something.
Yeah.
Because I don't trust these 5 layers, man. I'm gonna take something on all this.
Oh, you are absolutely taking damage. Like, I'm gonna because you can't make dex saves in a jail.
Right.
And
that's what this is gonna be.
I haven't fully decided if this is a dex save or a con save, but if it's a dex save, you can't make it, so you're gonna be taking some damage. You're gonna have to rely on cover to mitigate this damage.
And even with 5 layers, there's no way to mitigate something like this, because this is a piece of tech getting ready to fucking nay the north.
Yeah, no, this is gonna cause a crater. Like, you're all aware of that. Like, even if you don't know Forgotten Tech, like...
We're getting people the fuck away from this. Fuck yourself. We'll help you handle that. But we're getting the fuck away from this.
So can anybody buff Dawn to, like, make him tankier?
I am checking my spells for that exact reason. I do not know if I have anything prepped. I have Sanctuary, which I can use on my thing. Wait, what is it? Channel Divinity?
Sanctuary makes it...
I don't know if that'll help, though.
No, because
I can't do that.
Yeah, it's not being an attack. It's not an attack, so to say.
Fair. I have my lay on hands.
And I have Healing Word and Cure Wounds.
He definitely needs healing. Especially if he's going to run up on this thing.
Yeah.
Like,
can I both corral the people and try to help Dawn, or no?
I'd say you
Because
could.
lay on hands is a bonus action. All right, Gamzee, you're taking half of this, which is 15 of my lay on hand.
Oh, hold on there, Book.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna come out. Now, temp HP, bonuses to stats, all of these would be wise.
Yeah.
I know what's
Mhm.
fucking my thing right now. It's Steam. Hang on. I left my Steam open. It's probably downloading something.
Oof.
Steam, what are you doing?
I
Steam.
forgot I still had Steam up.
Bad.
Steam is
Bad. Bad game
Steam is-
platform. Get in the corner.
Steam is wonderful, but it's also malware at the best of times.
I mean, wow, that immediately improved my frame rate. Okay, cool. I think I fixed it.
Woo,
Let's find out.
Ah,
Did I fix it? Nope,
Ah.
I didn't.
did it.
I fixed it. I opened up the turn order to see, and the answer is no. Okay. I tell you what it is. I downloaded some drivers earlier, and I didn't restart my rig. That's probably what it is.
Oof.
Mm.
Regardless.
Oh,
Yeah, buffs to Dawn would be helpful.
I really
The
wish
only buff I
Absorb
can do
Elements
is
wasn't self-only.
I know, right?
I mean, I have Spare the Dying as a cantrip, worst case scenario.
I mean, yeah, what's the range on that?
I'm pretty sure it's
touch.
You'd have to be right up there beside him. Have you used your
no, I have not yet today, so I could be up there with Dawn, which I think Lash would probably want to be at least somewhat close.
Oh,
like
Away from here, and he's gonna stay.
If you-
So long as you can get to him before he has to make all his saving throws.
if you still have your full orc thing, whatever they call it. Oh, come on.
I'm looking for it still. What is it?
Come on, Streamlabs, work with me.
Undying resilience thing.
Yeah.
I
Like-
don't know if that's what it's called. I'm trying to find it.
Whatever. The thing that lets you not die when you would die.
Relentless Endurance.
Relentless endurance. Like, you could just jump on a grenade. Like, you'd be
Fair.
fine. Like, if you want to be an extra layer, Lash, you could. And, like, because of Relentless Endurance, you wouldn't die.
Yeah, that's basically Lash's plan. Get the humans out of the way and then stay back to be back up for Dawn.
Well, no, it's not stay back. It's, like, what I'm saying is, for that to be useful, you need to get in there.
Fair.
So what you might want to consider,
just-
Dawn, is jailing Lash, and then Dawn makes sure that his shield is in place.
Right. Here's a dumb question as well.
Mm-hmm.
Would the actual shield spell count as another layer of support here?
No, the only thing that does is increase your armor class. This is not an armor class situation.
Okay.
This is a damage. This is a guaranteed damage mitigation scenario.
Okay.
So
This is good information to have in general.
So
Yeah.
Irithir and Firga and potentially Runyak are hurting the humans aside. Dawn runs up, grabs his shield. Lash runs up beside him. You guys run towards the glowing giant gold mask thing. And then, like, tell me through the sequence of events here.
Herd the humans out of the way so Dawn can run up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I
Grab the
think
shield.
Dawn runs over, grabs up the shield, looks to Lash as she's running. Does that quick like point grip motion, then looks to Lash, point grip motion, and like the charade's like plunking shield down.
Mm-hmm.
What does the grip motion do? Mean?
He's signaling he's gonna jail.
Yeah.
Like locking down.
You've
As
seen,
they're
you've seen him
running.
cast jail before.
Yeah, I was just making sure that Lash would have recognized the action, because here's the
Probably.
thing, Kid has a fair point that Lash can straight up just tank this with her thing, and Dawn could probably use it, or if Dawn doesn't give Lash a choice, then Lash can't really do much, because you are literally stuck in place.
As far as the situation goes, having jail, you, and my shield in front of me, I think I'm probably going to be better off than you are.
Probably. Well, no, because Lash is guaranteed to tank it with Relentless Endurance. Like, you cannot physically be better with Lash, because with Lash, it's not dice.
Right.
For me, it's just straight up, hey, this is basically a nuke going off. I'm fine. I have to roll on the injury table, but I'm fine.
Oh, you are absolutely going to roll on the injury table. Like, both of you will. Like, you know that going into this. Like, this might kill you, but this is what you do, both of you. Like, this is your
what
thing.
both of us do. We go into situations fully expecting us or our people to die.
The two people out of this group that are dedicated to do whatever it takes to get people out alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So, the two of you, like, run in. Lash, where do you stand? Because realistically, you could jump on this thing, and Dawn could jail you, and then jail the thing, because it's 2 targets.
Yeah, that's probably one of the best ideas.
Okay.
It could also be a matter of them trying to move it farther away from the camp, but then again, we also don't know how much time that would take.
You don't have time to move it, you already tried.
All right, fair.
I just realized.
Yeah?
I've got the slots. I think I've got the slots to jail myself too.
Perfect.
You can throw up 3?
I can upcast it with 3rd slot to jail it and Lash, and then I can use my my last 2nd level slot to jail myself.
It's concentration.
It's concentration, homie.
I keep forgetting that. Fuck.
Hey, no, you're good.
So wait, how can you concentrate the thing and Lash then if it's concentration?
Because upcasting gives him more targets.
Because upcasting lets me do too.
Fair.
It's the same spell, it just has more application.
Yeah. So
Got it.
So the order of operations is bomb, Lash, jail, shield, Dawn, everything else, right?
Basically.
Okay. I need to know a couple of things. So,
Feel free.
first thing, Dawn.
Yeah.
If you jail an inert or a helpless or a willing target, they get the healing immediately or at the start of their turn?
Immediately, and then at the start of their turn.
Okay.
That's how we run. That's how we've ran it so far. At
The
least.
jail cannot make saves, correct? It only has an armor class?
Right.
Okay.
But it has an AC of 20.
It has, well, yeah, that's irrelevant.
This is a nuke. I'm pretty sure a nuke blows through an AC of 20.
So,
it's
What?
I was just mentioning it because that's probably pretty sturdy.
oh no, it's sturdy, but this is a save, this isn't an attack. An armor class is an attack getting through it. That's why a lot of spells are saves, because they're like forces of nature.
Fair.
Yeah.
So, for the sake of it, I'm gonna need both of you to make Constitution saving throws, since you're not trying to dodge.
Yeah, it's just hunker down, tank this.
Yes.
I'm double checking because I can't remember if that's a thing still.
What, con saves?
No, I feel like I read somewhere that some race has a proficiency in con saves. I feel like I might be misthinking of something else though. I just thought I'd double check.
Fair
Don't
enough.
get-
I mean advantage. I meant advantage.
Yeah, no, you're right on that. Some.
Fuck.
Okay.
Thank you, Nuffle, for nothing.
Do we get the banner?
You do get the banner, yes, which is good, because you're both gonna need it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The higher of these goes to Dawn. Yep, that tracks.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so Dawn, with 17, you will take half damage.
Woo! I'm still probably gonna die.
Lash with 10, this is gonna suck.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
So I'm going to start with the energy that was put into it and build off of that, which was a lightning bolt spell, which is
Awful amount of damage.
66. What's the damage on lightning bolt?
8d6.
8d6.
Yeah.
Plus the capacitors of the thing, which increased its dice substantially.
Oh yeah, I rolled 32d6 when I made the attack.
Okay, yeah. So I was leaning towards 45, so that's what I'm gonna do.
The number I got was 113.
So, Dawn, don't worry, because this is gonna be mitigated by the shield and stuff.
Okay.
So this is not going to, by virtue of me rolling 45d6, this is not going to annihilate both of you outright, which is what it should do, to be clear. Because of the layers of protection, this is going to be a little bit different. So, let's see what we're working with.
Lash, it's fine.
Well,
I'm gonna
not
come
necessarily.
out a
Lash would
well
not.
done.
Lash would not be fine if this is high enough that it doesn't mitigate enough. Oof.
Good golly.
Fuck.
Okay. So that would be 158 unmitigated damage from the explosion. Half of that is force, half of that is fire, if that matters to either of you. I think that actually does matter to Dawn. Am I crazy?
I don't remember anything.
Do you not take extra damage from fire?
I'm vulnerable to heat, but
You're
we
vulnerable
never
to
said
heat.
fire.
Okay, cool. So Lash has got 4 layers of protection. Dawn has 5. So Dawn, you're already taking half of this. So let's get that situated first. So half of 158 would be 74. No, it would be 79. Just from the save. And then from the 5 layers of protection, I'm going to reduce that by, let's say, 2/3 on top of that. So what is
2/3 of the new number or the original number?
2/3 of the new number? So what is 1/3 of 79?
47.
1/3 of 79.
What in wizardry?
1/3 is 26.3.
So you're going to take 26.3, or so 26. Yeah, round it down. 26 points of damage to you, Dawn. Lash, you're taking full damage. Then mitigated, which would be roughly 52.
Yeah, that's over my max HP, so I'm just gonna drop down to 1.
Well, hang on.
There.
What is your con score?
My con score is a +3.
No, the number.
Oh, 16, sorry.
So you would need to hit negative 51 before you would just die instantly?
Probably, yeah.
You need to... Isn't it your max HP plus your con score?
Yeah.
And damage?
Yes, that's what I said.
Remember, I've rolled nat once for most of my HP rolls.
Right. But 38 plus 51 is more than 52. You're fine.
All right, fair.
So you're both alive as this massive, like, so first there's this like dome of electricity that spirals out. Then the mask, well, I don't know why I struggled with that word, explodes, sending shrapnel, like concussive force and fire up into the sky and around you. You're lost in smoke, both of you. The humans scream, the mounts panic. Just this massive explosion. It kicks up ice and dirt into the air as well, as it just takes up the ground. And then, yeah, like, for the sake of it, Dawn, make a Constitution saving throw. You're gonna have to get a nat 20 to hold concentration on this spell, but fair is fair, you might.
Does he get the banner?
It doesn't matter. He needs to get a nat 20 because it's 5 plus half the damage, which would be fuck.
Still big.
Yeah, like 80 some, which he cannot physically roll. So you lose concentration on the 2 jails. You don't get the healing because you got the healing when it was cast. You were both at full health. So you don't get the healing again, but you are alive. Now, that being said, Dawn, your shield is fucked. Like,
yeah, as was expected.
Like, I'm trying to think of a way that your shield could have survived that, and I think, like, at the very least, it's got massive holes in it from chunks of ice and that gold metal. Which it's gonna have the broken condition, but the broken condition is kind of a catch-all, so it doesn't matter how broken it is, if that makes sense.
Right.
So
it's broken.
It's broken, yeah. But you're alive, and through the smoke you see Lash like getting to her feet. You both got thrown off your feet, duh.
Yeah.
And then like there's a cheer from the camp as the 2 of you like start walking out of the smoke. You look like hell. Like, you're both bleeding profusely. Like, Lash, you should not be alive, but you are. Like,
yeah.
Like, you saw those stone jails give. You saw that, like, dome of energy rise up around you. I'm curious, like, did you call out for help?
I don't know exactly if it would have been for help. I think it more would have just been a roar of defiance. Like,
okay.
I'm not running from this.
Totally.
I'm staying unbroken. This is what I agreed to do when I ran out here.
So what does your, like, I've already forgotten the name of the ability, Relentless Endurance, look like in this situation? Is it literally just the smoke clears and Lash is like standing there panting, or do you have like a divine aura? Like, are you wreathed in red flame?
I feel like it's a mix of the two. Like,
okay.
It's like the wreath of red is dissipating into the eyes around her tattoos and in the armor.
Nice.
And it's just, yeah, Lash looks like hell, but she's alive somehow.
Some would think it her final defiance, damn it. But in fact, it was nothing but defiance, damn it.
Yeah, right.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I think, like, Dawn, you limp back to the humans, and I think we see, like, Lash start to, and, like, her knees give out. Can you roll a D100 for me, both of you?
Yep.
Like, oh, right. You wanted me to start typing it out.
Please. So that's 75 for Dawn and 38 for Lash. Okay, let me check my injury table here and hope my stream doesn't die while I'm doing it. Okay, so Breaking Dawn, you are maimed. You are permanently disfigured. What did this cost you?
I want to say a horn.
That's fine.
Just because I think that might be cool, my mind immediately went to an eye, but it's like a horn.
I think a horn makes more sense. I think, yeah, like you put your shoulder against the shield and you like turned your head against it, and one of your horns was like up above the shield and got sheared off.
Right.
Totally. Lash, 38. Given what you went through, that's a bit worse, unfortunately.
Yeah, figured as much.
You're going to lose a point in one of your physical stats. You can choose which one.
How do you mean?
Strength, Dex, or Con.
Like, are they losing a modifier?
No, they're losing a point.
So 17 to 16 type of deal.
Correct.
And it's in Strength, Dex, or Con?
Yep, you choose. Con makes the most sense, but I'm not going to do that and gimp your HP. Unless you choose it.
Honestly, I think Con makes the most sense story-wise, because Lash's Con failed out to keep her from that, but, like, at the same time, Lash went through hell just then.
That can be restored with a restoration spell, but it cannot be healed by mundane means.
Which is valid.
Greater restoration, I'm assuming.
No, lesser restoration won't do it.
Lesser.
I'll take it to my con and I'll update Gracie with it.
Okay, cool. So Dawn, you like limp back. Your horn is sheared off, like unclean, like unevenly, and it's like smoking. And then Lash can't even get there. Lash like falls to her knees in the snow.
I think the moment like Lash hits the ground, Dawn's turning around to go and help her.
Okay, yeah, totally. Lash is like alive and conscious, but she's like. Do you know how, like, when a barbarian is in their rage, they're not fully lucid? The relentless endurance is kind of the, like, racial version of that, so Lash is not, like, she's not screaming and thumping her chest and flailing around because she can't, but she's definitely, like her eyes are clouded and she's not, like, aware of where she is currently, for sure. Also, you're both temporarily deafened because duh.
Yeah, I was about to say probably a loud ringing in both their ears.
According to the rules as written, it takes greater restoration to remove a reduction to an ability score.
Okay, then. I mean, I was trying to make it easy for you guys, but okay.
Noted for later.
Yeah, lesser restoration is only for certain conditions.
Ah, okay, then greater restoration, yeah. I mean, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
I like to think Dawn like lifts Lash, and he's like mumbling to himself, fully aware neither of them can hear after that.
Right. So you think you're mumbling, but in fact everyone can hear you say.
Right. Like it's like. I wonder if this is what they mean, unbroken.
So I think, like, I'm assuming the champions, like, run over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, even Arethair's, like...
Oh, God, oh, fuck, oh,
damage control, in damage control mode.
Yeah. So, like, some of the humans come with you, like, Jonah's there. I think the older, like, matron lady is there. Yeah, like, if you guys have anything you want to say or do, now would be the time.
Alright, head count. Who's down? Who's missing? Who's still up?
I think Jonah looks back over his shoulder and kind of timidly to all of you, he says, does that include us?
Hey!
We lost... And, like, looks at the matron, who's, like, looking back out through the snow. And Scout helpfully says, a cursory scan says that at least half the human forces are no longer moving.
Right.
Half is better than what there would have been if we hadn't come.
I agree. Still, we'll get something set up. Do you need medical attention? Can we give you medical attention?
Looks at Lash and Dawn like...
I mean, all of you are fucked up.
Question.
Yeah.
Would a regenerate spell fix Dawn?
That's a good question. Because Horn isn't... Like,
it's like a fingernail. It's not exactly a body part, but it is.
No, it's not that it's not a body part, it's that it's not tissue. Like, it is, but it isn't.
Well, Regenerate says it'll regrow any missing... Hang on.
I believe it specifies limb.
It says body members.
It says body member? Then... Okay, so then this is the question, right? If Dawn had antlers like a deer, the answer is absolutely, because there's blood flowing through them and what have you. But if he has horns like a cow, less so, because they're more like hooves and fingernails.
Right, these are keratin, not...
Right,
like...
so...
But it still came from his body.
Right. Does it specify that you have to have the piece to reattach?
No,
No.
it's
Okay.
faster if you have the piece, but it
Okay.
restores after 2 minutes.
For that matter, it's more of a question of would he let you?
Yeah, like, I would say probably regeneration would work, but one might believe there are better options, is the way that I will say that.
I don't. It's to a degree. I don't know if, like, yeah, this is bad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is proof to Dawn that he's really here. He's really doing something.
We're probably going to find another option before any of us have access to regenerate anyways.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Is that the 7th level spell?
I'm just saying a geomantic horn glowing like the jail would be awesome.
That would.
Oh, I should specify. You can't use your gore attack.
Oh, at all?
Oh.
Yeah, because you're missing the tool that allows you to do that.
I've still got one of
Unbalanced.
them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Unbalanced is,
Mhm.
yeah, not at all is better than badly.
If you were like a monk or a fighter, I would let you just scale it down, but you're not. So.
Am I okay to take the healing that Dawn gave me?
Yeah.
I'm just making sure, like, that for some story reason I'm okay to take it.
Yeah, no, totally. You're right.
Just making sure.
So yeah, I think
Last
the humans like start breaking down carriages because they can't move them at the minute, and like setting up like triage for the people who can be saved, including you guys if you accept their ministrations.
Yeah.
Life really can't say no.
Yeah, you can.
Physically.
I'm
And
sorry.
I don't think she would at
It's-
this point if someone would offer.
It's terrible to me, but the thought comes to mind that at some point Dawn is gonna look at someone and be like, "Is Jonah's dad still around?"
You haven't seen him.
In a little bit, I'm gonna take a look for him because I got some fucking words.
Okay.
Anyway,
The second Lash is able to get up, she's going to get up and start trying to use Spare the Dying on any humans or any of the party if they need it.
You will
Virga's
get.
also helping where she can.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Medicine check, Virga.
Okay.
yeah, same
I
honestly.
think Erythir is just going to do a count of the dead.
What were
You're
you
gonna
going to say, Kit?
A lot of things because a lot of people are doing stuff, which is great. Let me just go down the list if that's cool with you guys. Erythir, that's awesome, and you're gonna get some surprise reactions from the humans because you're an elf. And like, when you say count the dead, do you mean like get them in the ground? Like, are you gonna be doing labor?
No, he's just doing a tally.
Make sure you're rolling as your character, Spherica. Even still, nobody wants to do that. So the fact that you're stepping up is pretty good. Yeah, it's substantial. Like they lost a lot of people. In your tally, they're like bringing the dead over. Like you see like the old man, you see Jonah's father, you see like just here and there bits and pieces. The only like quote-unquote defender, remember how I said there was like half a dozen of the young men that were like serving as scout defenders of the convoy? The only one of those that's alive is Jonah, and that's because of fear.
Aww. Yeah.
I'm gonna move back over to this other screen.
Ooh,
That might improve the lag.
that didn't
Hopefully.
sound good.
What didn't
I was
sound
gonna
good?
say it sounded like the audio. Sounded like the audio just broke in like 6 different places a second ago.
Oh shit. Yeah, sorry about the technical difficulties.
Sounds like
It
it's not
fixed,
stable
but-
again. Yeah.
Okay,
Was it maybe switching over the screens?
maybe.
Maybe.
It's like if I touch anything on Roll20, my Streamlabs goes to shit. So I'm just gonna go to this screen and spend most of this episode talking. So
Which is valid.
Yeah, it's fine.
A couple of us have map ghost privileges if you want us to do things for you.
no, because when you guys roll, it lags it too.
Okay.
I think it's my drivers. I really do, but I can't fix it right now. So, regardless, I completely forgot what I was going to say. Good job, Kit.
We got the tally out of the way.
Yeah, you got the tally out of the way. Thank you. Then Lash, like, if you want to get up and help the humans, that's fine. My question is, Firga and Dawn, do you let her?
My internet cut out. What did you say?
The question
I
was, did Firga
asked-
and Dawn want to?
I asked if Firga and Dawn would let Lash out of bed.
I'm inclined to say no.
Yeah, I think Firga would agree. Like, you just almost died. You need to sit and breathe for a bit.
Okay. So the good news is for the humans that are alive, they're not that injured. Giants tend to do kill shots, so there's a pretty strong separation between these people are dead and not getting any deader, and these people are not really in danger of dying. The exception being U6, right? Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
The two who tanked the magical nuke, and those of us who were up close and personal fighting fucking giants.
Yeah, exactly. The big task is going to be finding the horses, which Keelio can go off and do. That's fine. Getting the giant corpses out of the camp and getting these people able to move, which they can't do right now because 3 of the carts are busted. The horses are gone, all of them. The remaining carts have been broken down. The tents have been repurposed. Like they're stalled, and you're in the middle of nowhere. That's like the biggest issue right now. Jonah and the matron are trying to take charge. And that's fine for right now, but eventually the adrenaline is going to get out of these people's systems, and they're going to have questions. Like a lot of questions.
Okay.
Quick question.
Yo.
How many people seem to be still okay?
About half of the original force, which was, I think I said 40 or 50. So
people that are down but not out.
Yeah, give or take 20 people.
Let's give like.
Hello?
Okay, I'm doing the math. Sorry.
No, you're fine. What's up?
I have my channel divinities still.
Uh-huh.
And I'm weighing the thought of giving some of the people like a point of that in case they need the stabilization. Know what I'm saying?
As I said, there's not a lot of people who are dying. The people who are fine are pretty fine for the most part, and the people who are dead. Because frost giants don't really maim; they just kind of kill you.
So if that's the case, could Firga focus her attention on fixing their shit instead of, medicine checks?
Yeah, totally.
Cool.
If you wanna like lead the effort to like get these people roadworthy again, like absolutely, Firga, that's a good use of your time.
I will do exactly that.
So
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say this is gonna sound a little bit weird, but can you make an artisan tools proficiency, whichever one you want, with your charisma to lead them in the build?
Okay. Let me check a thing real quick.
Okay.
I might not need it. I guess technically it wouldn't apply, but I was wondering if I could add commanding presence to this if it doesn't work out.
What does commanding presence do?
Sorry, I just scrolled past it. It lets me add a superiority die to an ability check, but it specifies intimidation, performance, and persuasion. But
I think given what this is, I think, yeah, you could add a superiority die to this.
Cool. Do.
So it would be your tool proficiency with your charisma plus a d8, I believe, is your superiority die. Is that right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and you want to add the d8? There it is. Okay. So total of 19. That's a good roll. So yeah, so as like Lash is recovering and Dawn is like tending to what wounded there is, like Jonah and Firga, and this also makes sense because you're a dwarf, and out of everybody, you're the most favorable, right? Like setting to work, like breaking the tents down. Like you can't stay here. You need to get moving. Like we need to make like a sled. We need to get the characters back. Keelio is off to get the horses. We need to be ready by the time she gets back. Blah blah blah. Like, yeah, totally. And I think over the course of like a reminder, it's the middle of the night. You guys had tried to long rest, like.
Yeah.
But over the course of a couple of hours, I think you can get their camp broken down and get them like. It's not your best work, Firga, but.
Oh, absolutely.
Now is not the time for Dwarven Precision. Now is the time to get them to Fire Shear.
Yeah, this is the dwarvish version of meatball surgery.
Yes. So, yeah, you get them, like, a functional convoy, if not wagon train. Like, by the time Keelio gets back with the horses, which is good because Keelio only found 3 of them.
Oof. Out of how many?
10, I think Jonah said.
Jeez. Okay.
So Jonah gets on 1, you hitch the other 2 to the convoy, and then yeah, like people can start going. If you guys want to go with them, you can. If you want to see them off, because they're going in the same direction as your camp ultimately, which you guys will need to return to at some point.
Yeah, I say we go with them for
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go with them for now till we get to our camp.
Yeah,
See
totally.
What we
So
do then.
It would be dawn by the time you get back to your camp, but dawn not coming because of Arl. But you guys get back to your camp. I think Jonah makes the call to like press on, like people want to expend their nervous energy. So I think they're gonna go, but you're thanked profusely. And almost immediately Keelio is like, I'm not gonna be able to sleep until Aerith is back. I'm gonna go get some stuff for a ritual.
Yeah. Real quick before the humans go.
Totally.
Do they want that health potion recipe after all?
Jonah does, yes. I assumed you
Okay.
gave it to him on the way, and that was actually the next thing that I was going to say, which is there anything you want to do before the humans leave? And then follow-up question, is there anything you guys want to do before you finish your long rest?
Yeah, I was gonna say I wanted to teach that to Jonah now,
Yeah, totally.
but
I mean, what you'd have to do is, like, write it down, because Jonah is pretty, like, adamant, like, I want to get these people moving, I want to get some distance between what happened, stuff like that.
Aerith has parchment.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
You might have to draw him some pictures, but you can get the message across, no problem. Or like teach him what the word is. Sorry, somebody was gonna say something?
I think it was Vader.
Go ahead, Vader.
No, I didn't say anything.
It was Firga.
That was me. I was just never mind.
Okay. So yeah, is there any conversations you guys want to have with the humans before they depart? Any conversations you want to have amongst yourselves before you bed down? Any events you want to do? Like, the floor is yours. I just wish I had a little bit more.
Shit, I forgot to tell you guys about the weirdness Jonah told me.
Yeah, right.
Alright, so let's see what I can remember. Something, people sleepwalking. I have my notes somewhere.
I'm gonna make this easy for you, Virga. Make an intelligence saving throw.
Okay.
You want to do this while the humans are there or after they leave?
Probably while they're still there.
Okay.
If we want to badger Jonah for more details.
I mean, you absolutely can. So, with that, yeah, like if you can get your notes, like whatever you can just word vomit. If not, I can help you out because you rolled high enough.
Something people sleepwalking. And there's like some dude hanging around, short, dark-eyed, dark-haired stranger.
He wasn't hanging around. He passed through.
Okay.
He went further north than where Jonah is from.
The Dark Wanderer.
Yeah, right. But he did specify short. He said shorter than you.
Okay.
Yeah. And he said that to Firga.
So, stranger passed through, shorter than me, people sleepwalking. And I remember you said something about people freezing, but I don't remember what the context was
disappearing from their houses.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't just sleepwalking. It was people are disappearing from, like, entire families are disappearing from their houses in the middle of the night. If someone happens to see them, they're moving about like sleepwalkers. And then sometimes out in the field or out on the trails or whatever, you'll find a person like frozen in motion. Dead.
Oof. Oh, you know what I should have asked? I should have asked if they've all headed off in one direction or if they're scattering.
I mean, you said you were doing this while the humans are still there, so you could do that.
I will do exactly that.
So you want to have a scene with Jonah is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So you guys, like, get back to your camp. Jonah is telling you about how, like, he wants to press on, and then you stop him and you're like, hang on, I need some information. Jonah's like amicable. He says, like, with the amount that you've saved and the work that you've done, little mother, certainly we can exchange whatever you need, though I doubt I have any information worth the likes of any of you after that.
I was just wondering, you said the people have been walking out of their homes and like freezing, right?
And glances over her shoulder and like steps.
And she's kind of like hushed hush, like she doesn't want to freak people out or anything.
Right, yeah. I think he like comes into the tent with you guys, like your tent, to like have this conversation. And he nods and he says, it's foul to speak of it, according to my father, but yes, people who understand the dangers of the Dale, not, well, you'll forgive me, people who've lived there all their lives are just doing things wrong that we all know better than to do. And that's if we can catch them at all. People are just vanishing. They go to the pub or a friend's house, and then they go home, they go to bed, speaking of going to work the following morning, and then morning comes and their house is empty. There's a fire burning in the hearth, the larder is full, sometimes the dog is there, sometimes it's not, but the family, the people, they're just gone. If we can find them, that is to say, if we see such things, they're like walking in a dream in the middle of the night, and you rouse them, they have no memory of where they are, promptly go back home. Sometimes that's the end of it. Sometimes it persists. That evening, the next day, within 3 days, always, we either catch them again or they're gone.
Yeah, she looks like she doesn't look happy about the situation, but she's mulling it over in her head. I was just wondering, the ones you have found, like frozen, do they all seem to be headed in the same direction, or are they scattering? Any patterns there?
I can only speak for our town, you understand? I don't know if it's spread through the Dale, but come to think of it, and it glances over her shoulder again. All right. You'd think trying to go south, get away from things, or further north, called by some foul magic. But no, they're going westward.
Towards the
Right.
sea.
Nods. Insofar as to say that, and he takes a step to the west. I'm going towards the sea. There's a bit of a distance there, but
Aye, but in that direction, aye.
He nods.
Alright. Any connection that you're aware of, like, beforehand? Have they talked to the same people, gone to the same pub?
Oh, certainly. There's not a great variety of things to do in the Dale. But
Yeah, that's fair.
I talk to the same people. If you're asking if they all went to the same cunning woman or what have you, I couldn't say. But certainly we all have a pattern.
Alright.
I suppose it's up to me to make the connections now. I had a theory. My father thought it was poppycock, but, well, you just killed a bunch of frost giants, so who am I to say what's poppycock anymore? They're all... He, like, rubs the back of his neck. Pretty?
Come on, brain. Real lookers, are they?
Not. Like, he says not and just kind of gestures helplessly at Irithyr.
Eh.
But above average, certainly. Unique in their own way.
Wait a minute. Did Jonah just hit on Irithyr?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm slightly distracted.
No, you're fine. Firka said, like, were they particularly attractive? And Jonah's like, I can't answer that. There's an elf standing right the fuck there. Like, that was more the point.
Okay.
Okay.
Like, not that pretty, but
Exactly.
pretty for the Dale.
Exactly.
Attracted for the place that you're from.
Okay.
More or less.
Yeah, Lash has been listening in this entire time, just laying on her back.
Yeah, no, that's like, why are you laying on your back? Like, you're back at your camp. You're in your tent. Like, you guys could be gathered around talking to Jonah. It's fine.
Because shit still hurts.
Fair.
Magical healing or not, that shit hurts.
Valid.
I feel like we've dragged Flash's Kai over so she can participate without getting up.
Yeah, right.
Probably.
Alright. I think that's all I've got, question-wise. Unless you guys have. I mean, not to pry on your hometown. Just, I figure if we're passing through anyway, we might as well try and solve it.
He nods. No, I appreciate it. If you can solve it, well, I would say that's a tall order, but... And he just, like, gestures behind him. Well, you've certainly earned my belief in you, for what that's worth.
Appreciate it.
So, what now? I mean, I should get moving, but if you still have need of me, my information or something...
No, you got to see the people, Jonah. Oh, one last thing.
Nods.
I'm sorry about the old man. He was kind of a git, but must still hurt.
He nods. There'll be time for that later. Right now, I'm trying to take solace in the fact that we don't need to worry about supplies for a bit. But we'll need to get moving if we want to keep that.
Hey.
I don't suppose
Good
you know
luck.
anything about the road to Fireshire. No.
Nope. Not off the top of my head. Glancing around the rest of the tent, see if anyone else knows anything.
None of you came from that way except Runyak, but Runyak came down from the Dale.
Yeah.
I could make a reading.
You could. The problem is I'm afraid to load up the handout for Fireshare because I don't know anything about it, and crash the stream. Though, you're right, some people do have map ghost privileges. Could somebody load up locations in the north from Storm King's Thunder and read the blurb for Fireshare, please?
Sure thing. Out loud or, like, paste it into your DMs?
Out loud. You guys aren't going to Fireshare, so it doesn't really matter.
I've got it if you like.
Yeah, please.
This is the right one, isn't it? Hang on. Yeah, it is. I just saw Fireshare. Okay. You want
the italicized text. Should be the first bit.
First bit?
Yeah.
Locations in the north. The locations described in this section appear on the wilderness map. I don't think that's right.
No.
For what you want, is it?
No. I'm surprised there's not a blurb that tells you about Fireshare.
Oh, well, there should be. Hold on. I just gotta find it again. There it is.
I meant the first bit in the Fireshare section.
Oh, sorry. You said locations in the north, and I was like, boom, there it is.
Yeah, that's the handout, and then there should be one for Fireshare. And normally I'd have all this up on stream, but I just cannot risk it tonight.
You want me to read the whole schmoodle, and you can stop me whenever?
Yeah, you read it, and then I will tell you what's different if it matters.
So
I just don't have a frame of reference.
Starting from the beginning of this.
Yep.
Long ago, a meteor strike blasted a crater in the frozen tundra near the coast of the trackless sea, shearing away tons of rock and exposing rich veins of copper and silver ore. In the years that followed, miners settled nearby, giving rise to the town of Fireshare. The miners work for a consortium of 3 allied merchant companies: Hammerveer House, the Silver Triangle, and the Delvers of Brokestone.
Okay.
The settlement is made up of squat stone structures that resemble igloos, their domes good at supporting the weight of snow and deflecting the cold wind. Most homes are dug out of the rock and include deep cellars laden with preserves. That's the first blurb. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, for now.
The miners of Fireshare dwell here all year. Ramps carved into the cliffs lead down to the shore, where the stone docks protrude into a shallow bay that freezes by late fall and doesn't thaw until early summer. Fireshare imports most of its food, clothing, and other necessities. Ice fishing is a popular pastime among children, but all able-bodied adults are expected to toil in the mines.
Okay, that's about what I expected. I didn't expect it to be a mining town, but that's about the size of it. So yeah, they're gonna get a lot of traffic with the bridge out, because the trade route between Neverwinter and the Icewind Dale now goes through Fireshare because the bridge is gone.
Right.
So yeah, nothing major that you guys know about happening in Fireshare right now. Like, the main reason that I wanted to look at that and read that off, and thank you, Gamzee, is because that other town, Luskan?
Yeah, Luskan.
That was Jarlisle's home base. Jarlisle is currently dead. So that one was...
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I got. So yeah, you
dead as hell.
You guys don't know anything about the road to Fireshare any more than Jonah does.
Okay, then, not specifically.
I offer to send word, but well, you know. Fair winds to you, I suppose.
Fair winds, safe travels, best of luck.
Steps at
Actually,
it. Go ahead.
oh no, I wanted to ask Joan a question, but
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm probably.
Oh, go.
Do you still have the horn?
Aye?
Good. I can't guarantee it'll be us next time if there is one.
Let's
But-
hope there's not a next time, if you don't mind my saying so.
He just does the.
Yeah.
Prepare for the worst, hope for the best.
Quite.
Yeah.
I'm eager to get moving, and you all have more than earned your rest, so I'll leave you to it.
Right.
Steps out of the tent, unless anybody else has anything.
Nope.
Leaving you guys alone to finish your long rest, take a new one, or break camp and keep moving. Though Kelio is going to ask you guys to like hang here for a bit if possible, so that she can get Arth back.
I say we long rest. Honestly,
Agreed.
we kind of need that.
Yeah.
I mean, you would be finishing your previous long rest, which got interrupted. It hasn't been
Right.
long enough to take another one.
That's true. That reminds me. Is there any chance I could have found what of my horn was removed?
Did you look for it?
I'd like to, or I would have liked to.
Make an investigation check with disadvantage. Failure is disintegrated, which is probably what happened.
Right.
I mean, there could have been a significantly worse fate there than Dawn losing its horns and Lash getting
Yeah.
rocked.
Valid. No,
Like a little to the left and a little bit down, and it would have been a very different story.
yeah, no, fair. Yeah, with that roll, I think you could find it.
Cool. I'm kind of more interested in like the geomantic horn idea than putting this back on. But there's some use to having a horn.
Certainly. I mean, worst case scenario, you could turn it into like a digging knife.
Right.
Like, it's still useful. Yeah, so you guys can finish your long rest, which begs the question, like, did you guys roll your HP already?
I don't think so.
So you
Usually
guys
that
can,
happens at the end of the long rest, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you guys can get your HP back and get your spell slots back. Irithyr can roll for his portents. Blah, 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 blah. Is anybody taking a watch? Like, Kelio probably is, so you guys are probably fine.
Oh, those are some interesting numbers.
Yes, they are.
If Kilio needs a break to deal with her thing, Furiga can.
Okay. Cool. So what I'll do is I'll leave it up in the air, and let Kelio like define the ritual when they're back, hopefully next week. But I will say, like, when you guys set out, Kelio has Arth again.
All right.
Okay.
So you guys can get your health back, get your portents going, and determine any conversations you want to have and your next course of action. I would love to bring the map up for you, but again, stream, blah.
You know what I wish we had? I wish we had a long rest button on these sheets.
Yeah,
That would be cool.
Except it would do long rest in rules as written.
also valid. Which would just max
I
out
mean-
your HP.
Yeah. I'd just want it to re-up my spell slots and the long rest regain stuff, but
Yeah, I don't do the rules as written long rest, so Vader has a valid point there. Even if we had one, I'd be like, don't use that.
yes. 16. 1, 2, 3.
You only have 2 hit dice, Dawn?
Huh? No, that's what I'm using right now.
No. For a
Just-
long rest, you get all of them for free.
Should I just have rolled them all at once instead?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
For a
hold on.
long rest, you like all of your hit dice refresh, and when they refresh, they roll, and you get that much hit points.
I'll just do them all at once again instead then.
There you go. So, like, statistically, you will get full health back, but not always, right? Like,
Yeah.
You'd add your con mod to that, right? Lash?
It is. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm adding that to it as well.
cool.
Hi,
All
cutie.
right.
I have a Tasha.
Hello, Tasha.
Hello, Tasha.
Get her!
Okay.
My con mod is slightly worse, but oh well, I rolled decent for one, so I'm hit point.
Your con mod is worse. Your con mod goes down.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You lose max HP equal to your level.
So... Oh god.
So -6 to your max HP.
Yeah.
I didn't realize your con mod went down. Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's fine, you still have a
personally,
Custodian armor class.
Personally, I would have taken from strength or something,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess thematically it does fit.
I mean, honestly, I'm just impressed at the stones.
Yeah.
Like, I would not have had the stones to do that. Straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a ballsy maneuver.
Yes,
No. I mean, taking the con hit.
Oh. Still a ballsy maneuver, just not the one I thought you were referring to.
Fair. Oh, I would have jumped on the grenade. That's no issue. But as soon as the GM was like, strength, dex, or con, take a hit to him, I would have been like, strength. Strength. But yeah, no, like, awesome. And I think it'll lead to some great roleplay. So yeah, you guys take a long rest, and then, like, in the morning, like, Lash is, like, sluggish to get up, and, like, very obviously, like, a bit more winded than she was yesterday, and not looking super great.
Mm-hmm.
No
So-
wonder.
Yeah, any camp stuff you guys want to do? Don't everybody speak up at once now. I'm hesitant to go, like, forward because of the lag issues that we're currently experiencing. So it would be really great if you guys had some camp stuff you wanted to do.
Well, if well, it depends. What's is Dawn's shield literally made of stone?
No, it was made of iron.
Yeah. This is a new one I got.
Yeah, he got a shield with a moot, made of metal with hooks on the bottom, and he put it to good use. But yeah.
If Irithyr is willing to put up with recasting the ice anvil again, I could try and fix it for you before we get moving.
I'd have to swap one of my cantrips back for shape water.
Oh, okay.
I can do that at the end of a long rest.
I think also is, like, I haven't rolled for, like, the percentage, but Dawn does not have every piece of his shield.
Oof.
Like, guaranteed Dawn does not have every piece of his shield. I just don't know how little he has. So, that's a thing to consider as well.
Mm-hmm.
No conversations? Really?
I could swap a cantrip for mending as well.
Mending requires all the pieces to be there.
Yeah.
Honestly, mending might work on Dawn's horn, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Yeah.
Dawn's horn is both an object and a creature.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if Firga lost a hand, you couldn't use mending on it, but, like, on the horn, I think you might be able to. Because, this is my logic, right? If you had a cow skull, and the horn broke off of it, you could cast mending on the cow skull and put it back together. So why not,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah,
That's true.
Call it a leap in logic. Does that mean that you can use mending on four claimers like healing word?
four
you mean
claimers?
firstborn, hun? You mean firstborn, hun?
Yeah, firstborn.
Yeah, I established that when Dwok was, like, a character. I was like, mending will heal you.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So, yeah, mending would have healed them the same way it would heal a construct, I'm assuming.
Correct.
That's super cool, actually.
So if mending heals a construct, then yeah, you could mend Dawn's horn if he wanted it. Like, he found it. Like, it wasn't disintegrated, so, like, I don't see any reason that you couldn't do that if you wanted to. But the shield, I don't think that would apply.
Was any of Lash's stuff damaged, or...?
Yes, but, like, it is assumed that upkeep happens during a long rest.
Yeah, fair.
The only thing that got the broken condition was Dawn's shield.
Yeah.
Thought I would double check.
No, completely valid.
Because that was an unprotected piece of equipment getting hit by a small nuke.
So we need the materials and the tools to just repair it and replace what was broken off.
Correct.
And we're...
That being said, I want to clarify two things. One, you guys keep saying nuke, and I know what you mean by that, but to be clear, this was more like several sticks of dynamite.
Fair.
It was a DPS nuke, but
yes,
in reality, it was just like
it was a substantial explosion, but it was like C4 at the worst. It wasn't a nuke. You guys, none of you would be here if it was a nuke.
Fair.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I want to clarify is, yes, you could do that with Dawn's shield. I would even say Firga could make rolls to make it, but you would need raw material, which you do not currently have.
So we might need to wait till we get to the town then.
Or go mining.
What I'm hearing is, after we deal with whatever's happening in the Dale, assuming we don't critically fuck that up, we just strip whatever abomination Scout told us is headed that way.
Oh, there is a thing I wanted to do. Something we established earlier. I don't think we ever established it on stream.
Go on.
I wanted to learn a spell from the archive.
Yeah, totally. If you've got the resources, so basically, I'm doing it kind of like I did with Gamzee's lore wizard.
Order of Scribes.
Order of Scribes. Thank you. You have straight money. You spend the money on wizard shit, and then you expend the wizard shit to learn the spells from the archive. So if you have wizard shit in your inventory, fine, cool, awesome.
You also said I had to make an Arcana check.
Yes. Well, yeah, you spend the wizard shit on attempts. But, like, what I'm saying is, like, it's not just straight gold. But if you've got the wizard shit, by all means, make an Arcana check. What spell were you trying to learn, so I know the DC?
Magic Missile.
Okay. Ooh, okay.
Because that would have come in real handy in the last fight, I'm realizing.
Yes, it would have. It also would have been real stupid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So expend the charge of wizard shit, equivalent of learning a first level spell, and make an Arcana check.
Sims does not know things about wizard shit. Why would that have been stupid?
Magic Missile is guaranteed damage.
If he had cast that through the shield, it would have been...
Yeah, that could have killed us all.
It would have been, hey, boys, you want to do the hokey pokey? Not really. Too bad. Magic Missile.
Basically.
Oh, it wouldn't have killed you all, because
Hey, boys, you want a
I'm
TPK?
still guessing I could direct it.
Correct. You could have directed it.
But that would have been a lot of damage.
I'm gonna tell you what it would have been, Vader. It would have been Shiva's bow.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah. Do.
I believe that is plenty.
Yeah, no issue at all. So, you now have Magic Missile. Congratulations. So you can prepare Magic Missile. As with any other spell in your book, it is now available to you. So
and there's plenty of darkness here to cast it at.
What is that? Go ahead.
So I was just going to ask, does Don want me to mend his horn or not?
Nah.
So what does that look like, Irithyr? You're like meditating over the archive, but what does it look like when you gain a new spell from it? Is there an outward reaction, or is it just?
I think one of the runes on it glow.
Nice. And then you have the spell. Also, is your magic missile throwing cards at dudes? Because that'd be hilarious.
No. I was thinking more like little stars flying out of it.
Also good.
I was gonna suggest springing a whole deck of cards at them.
The world's second most shittiest game of 52 pickup, right next to doing that with a deck of many things.
Listen, I still say the deck of many things isn't as bad as people say it is.
It's bad.
Or like forming a constellation and then the stars that make up it fly
Nice.
out and yeah.
My thing about that is, Fox, like, if you have playing cards proficiency, just don't declare you're drawing a card, then shuffle the deck to the one you want.
The deck is magically sealed together, homie. But it's irrelevant because I don't use the deck of many things in my campaigns, so the best you're gonna get is the deck of some stuff.
Which is always fun.
Yeah, the deck of some stuff is great.
The deck of some stuff and things. But not many things, only a few things.
Funnily enough, the deck of some stuff and the deck of some stuff are two different things.
True.
There's a lot of people that went, wow, this is terrible, it has too many things. Bop.
Yeah. So, camp things that you guys want to do for whatever reason.
I have an question.
Yes.
Were we still herding on forage for the animals that are not carnivorous?
No, because Jonah only has 3 horses now. You got the baskets too, so.
Nice.
So no, you guys are good. If nobody has anything, then I want to give Dawn a dream.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Warlock shit.
Not quite, but in a very similar vein. It's warlock adjacent. So
Cleric shit.
I'm sorry.
Cleric shit.
Warlock adjacent sounds like a bad dark metal band.
First of all, Warlock
That's an
Adjacent is like
awesome name. What
an
the fuck are
amazing
you talking
band. Second of all, Dawn, do you sleep?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. So I think we deal with all of our long rest stuff, and then we see Dawn asleep before the day comes, before you guys are roused for whatever adventure you're in.
Or
And
dawn breaks.
Before Dawn, well, no, Dawn doesn't break because of Oral.
Yeah, I said that
You're
as a
right,
joke.
Dawn doesn't break. He just stood next to a nuke and he's still standing.
Right?
Dawn doesn't break, Dawn awakes.
So I think, you know that Control / Alan Wake thing where it like slowly zooms in on a character and then it doesn't like, I don't like the flicker cut because it makes my stomach turn, but it'll just smash cut to a different like scene. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I think we see Dawn like asleep on his bedroll near the bonfire in the tent, and it just like slowly zooms in, the sound of the bonfire fades away, and then we just smash, and you're standing. It's like a tunnel with an open top, if that makes sense. It's a downward crescent of jagged stone. It's somewhat flatter where you're standing, and then it's just piles of jagged stone up in a semicircle around you. Above that is like a cavern, like you're in a tunnel inside a cave, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's just dark all around you. You have never seen this place before. What would you like to do? And yes, Vader, I know those games are made by the same devs. That's why I put them together. Thank you, though.
When you say like downward spiral or down, that probably wasn't what I'm.
Downward crescent, yes.
Downward crescent. Do you mean like
a smiley face?
Like hole?
No. Like where you're standing. If you look at your feet, you're standing in the middle part of a smile.
Okay.
So you're standing on a relatively flat curve. I know what I just said. And it raises up on both of your sides, but it doesn't make a complete circle.
It's... So...
And the top is open, and you can see, like, miles above your head, you're in a cave.
Right.
You're in a giant cavern.
Is the opening like the one I saw with the runestone?
It's similar, but it's not
As grandiose?
No, it definitely is grandiose. It's... Let me ask you this. If you see the roof of one cave and you see the roof of another cave, can you tell at a glance that they're different caves?
I mean, in this scenario, yeah, because one of them has floating rocks.
This one does not have floating rocks that you can see from where you're standing.
Okay. So, my thought is, like, start heading my way to one of the ends to try and get above.
Do you want to go uphill or downhill?
You're
You're facing downhill.
probably downhill then.
Okay. You start heading, like, down along this track, and you see, like... You know how in Tarzan, bear with me, the vines between the trees in the jungle have the trees rising up around them, but they're kind of, like, suspended horizontally?
Yeah.
You see that type of thing, except it's pillars of stone. So as you're, like, walking through this tunnel, through the cracks and where the crescent doesn't extend, you see, like, pillars of stone, you see other trailways, and you start to get the impression that you're really high up. And do you look over the side? Do you find a hole and take a peek? Because you're bigger than the crescent in a lot of places.
I mean, oh, definitely he is.
So you look out, and you've played Dark Souls 2, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the airy cage where you fight the twin dragons?
Yeah.
You remember the location that's in?
Yeah.
Imagine that, but it's not a forest. You're suspended, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, you're suspended 300 to 500 feet in the air, maybe even more than that, on one of several of these stone serpentine causeways that go up and down in every direction, suspended over and through these various finger-like stone columns that are themselves poised and rising out of, instead of a forest, in this case, it's glowing crystals. So just canyons and mountain ranges and plains of glowing crystal, and it's all in this massive giant cave.
Mamma mia.
And as you look on one of these causeways, you see a serpent, is the best way that I could describe this thing. It moves by undulating its torso. It doesn't seem to have any limbs, but it's not flesh and blood. It's a series of stone rings, almost like a Stargate, over a central crystal column. It's not rolling on the rings, to be clear. The rings are lateral, and it's held together through some force. For the sake of description, I'm going to say it looks like magnetism. So, like, they're suspended almost magnetically around this central column.
Oh, it's like onyx.
Yes, except hoops.
Okay.
Imagine if onyx had hoops around him like a Stargate.
Yeah, horrifying.
And he didn't have facial features. He was just a crystal. And yeah, you see it, like, it's as big as the tunnel that it's on. So it ostensibly carved it. And it just undulates past your view. It is brownish black stone with red crystals. The crystals are glowing.
Have I seen anything like these crystals?
Fuck
Like, can I
no,
identify
you
them?
have not. But you can make a roll, certainly. This would be... Normally this would be a nature check, but in your case it's going to be religion.
Ooh.
I'm okay at those.
Okay.
Apparently, I'm definitely okay at those.
With the description that I gave you, you have 5 questions.
Okay. What? Okay. I don't know if you'll understand this, and forgive me.
I mean, no, that's
What-
fine.
What's the crystalline structure shape?
The crystalline structure shape. I'm going to need a little bit more information.
A lot of different types of crystals tend to have different formational patterns inside.
Okay, got you. You're asking the thing that the rings are magnetically around, what does the central shaft look like? The answer is vaguely obelisk-like.
Okay.
So it's got like a pyramidal shape at both ends, and then it's vaguely cylindrical otherwise. It's imperfect. It's definitely like grown, but they're not like salt crystals that kind of like fan out in points. They're more gem-like.
Okay.
It's a fair question.
I don't know if that was exactly what I was after, but you know what?
If that's
still...
not what you were after, it's not going to count against you, but I'll need you to clarify.
Okay, so hold on. I need to find a thing real quick.
Okay.
Like,
Hmm?
I'm having trouble finding it.
I'm having trouble doing a show without a map, handouts, or music, but you know, here we are.
Since I can't find this, let's just go with that'll work and move on.
Okay. What do you got?
So what's, like, you said that these crystals are all over the place.
No, I said there are crystals all over the place.
Yes.
This thing is different.
Okay.
Yeah, the roll was for the worm thing.
Oh.
Yeah. If you want to ask me about the area, that's fine. I was going to give you more information about the worm boy.
Oh, okay. I completely... No, hold the fuck on. Give me a second.
You good?
I opened the wrong question sheet if that's the case, motherfucker.
Yeah, no, like, it's a completely different role for the area.
We were having a Fallout dialogue, and I tried to use charisma while you were trying to use intelligence.
Yeah, no, sorry. We good.
Okay. So, these things... Can you describe that previous thing again? Because I had a thought, and now I've lost it.
The worm boy?
The formation thing you mentioned.
Oh, the formation, like the central column of the boy.
Yeah.
Vaguely obelisk-like, so it's got the pyramidal point at both ends, and it's vaguely cylindrical otherwise, but it's like compressed like a gem. It's not like machine cut, if that makes sense. It's more like the shapes are very vague. It's just this vague obelisk-like central structure that the rings go around.
Okay. Do the rings themselves look like they're made out of any particular kind of stone?
Yes, but I don't know. I could not tell you, like, what that, would be. I will say the insides, the inside of the rings, are the same red crystal as the central pylon. They have stone on top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess a better way of wording that question would have been like the stone type rather than like what kind of stone.
It is a,
you know, igneous, all that jazz.
Igneous, sedimentary, metamorphic.
Yeah.
The problem is I don't know of the difference, but I can tell you this. It looks more like the rocks in Yellowstone National Park than the rocks in Hawaii. That's the best I
Okay.
got.
Okay, so more. Gracie, you know obscure things. Correct me if I'm wrong here.
Okay.
That'd be a lot more metamorphic.
I believe that'd be more sedimentary.
I don't actually know.
When you think of a rock quarry, it looks like those types of rocks as opposed to the pyramids.
Well, what a rock quarry looks like would depend what kind of rock you're mining.
Yes, I know that.
No, I see what you're saying now. Like clumps of multi
Yes.
style rocks.
Yes.
Yeah. That's sedimentary. Cool. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Thank you.
So interesting.
And this thing is big. Like, substantially bigger than you. This thing barely fits on the bridge that it's on, and you can walk with your arms out on the bridge.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's worse than a that is substantially worse than a giant.
It is not as big as Jormungandr in the newest God of War game. Not that big.
Right.
But
These are like school buses.
Yes. No. It's like a school bus for Dawn.
Oh god.
Yeah. They're big boys. You still have 3 questions.
Okay.
No, 4 questions. Sorry. Because you just asked for clarifications about the crystals, so you're good.
Right. I guess another one would be like looking straight down. Is there any way to tell if like this
we
thing
are resolving the wormy boy first.
Yes, that's part of it.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
Is there any way to tell if it has like a clear objective in where it's going? Like, is this thing taking like a hunting sort of run around?
It is moving along one of the same, like, vaguely vine-like tunnels that you're in. You don't know its destination, and with the walls, it's impossible to tell.
Okay.
That thing could be going to the same place you're going, for all you know. Like it's too unclear.
So this is probably another dumb one. It has the same crystals that are everywhere, right? Is it giving off more light than those? Because you said they're glowing lightly.
About the same. It's certainly not glowing less.
Okay. That's 2 questions left?
Yep. And then we can resolve questions about, like, where you are.
Right. Fuck, I can't think of nothing now.
I'll tell you its name if you want.
Yes.
I mean, you rolled high enough to be able to say, like, what is this creature called? Like, I'm not gonna tell you, like, Jib, right? Like, I'm not gonna tell you this thing's name, but I'll gladly tell you what the creature is called. It's called an earth borer.
Okay, makes sense.
It's an elemental.
God, there is absolutely that feeling of like horror and knowing such a large thing is really capable of doing this.
Yeah, no. Earth borer.
Earth borer. I'll have to put
nothing boring about it.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna write that down on my phone so I can put it on my notes later.
You have 1 question left. It might behoove you to ask about something regarding its combat capabilities. For no reason at all.
That is entirely a fair point. So the immediate thought is, just how durable does this fecker look? And how brutally could it do me? Does it seem it could do me in?
Those are two questions. Pick one.
I'm gonna pick one and expand it a little bit.
Okay.
How badly does it look it could do me in on my own?
If you got into a fight with this thing on your own,
In the current state.
You would have to fight hard to survive. But the victor is not a foregone conclusion. Now, that being said, it's so large that it could do considerable damage to you without noticing.
Okay. I gotcha. All right.
So you see that, like, moving through one of the same tunnels that you're standing in, as you look around. But if you want to, like, look to move about or otherwise change the status quo and, like, get a means to ask questions about where you are, we can do that too.
I'd like to see about trying to get, like, into a more open spot.
I mean, you are in an open spot. That's why you're able to see all this. It's open. You just only have one path because there's gravity.
Right.
You want to try to find a different spot?
I think I want to try going lower first.
Okay. So you want to continue along the path that you were on. It doesn't take long at all for you to come around a bend, and one of the walls of the tunnel, for want of a better word, has fallen away at the bend of the tunnel, which leads you to believe something probably hit that at some point because of where the hole is. Which you don't want to think about something coming through these tunnels at speed enough to break through one of the walls. But here we are. Through that hole, you can see the winding walkway, finger stone void area that you're in currently. Opens out onto a plane that looks like you see a cliff. Like, you are currently over the area that the cliff opens up to, but looking into the distance, you see it, like, catch solid, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, the best way that I can explain this is with, like, to draw your attention to the deep sea. You know how at a certain point in the sea, the floor just drops?
Yeah.
And there's just this hole in the ocean, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the reverse of that.
There's just a hole and then suddenly floor.
Yes, you are in the hole in the ocean, but if you look towards the horizon, you see the shallows appear. Right? Except it's a stone plane. It's fractured in places, it's not even, but it's just this long expanse of stone. And rising like a pinnacle, even higher than you are, because your perspective is down on this plane, that's why you can see so much. Rising even higher than you in the distance, there is what I can only describe as a Protoss pylon. This giant web of crystals in a vaguely, like, pillar shape, rising into the sky with a massive, like, beam of energy going up through the middle of it. It's huge, and it's lighting up the plane. And around this pylon, you see structures. And in the distance, as if you're like Mufasa and Simba standing on Pride Rock, in the distance, shaded on a plateau, so like rises above the plain, not a plateau, a mesa. You see another structure, a bigger structure than what's around the pylon. And then there's like biomes on the plain, they're mostly of like crystal. And
Wow.
I got one more thing for you.
Huh?
You see something. It's not accosting you in any way, but you see something come out of the void in the air, quote unquote air, on like stony wings and fly across the plain. It is easily big enough for you to ride, and as soon as its silhouette catches the light of the pylon, it banks, and you see that it is crystals grown in the shape of a dragon.
Oh no.
A very
Like that
large.
That is super fucking cool, but oh no.
Yeah. So that's what you see. If you want more information, you can roll for it, or we can discuss it. But yeah, that's what you see.
So, first of all, the crystals on the quote-unquote dragon, do they seem the same as the big boy I saw moving earlier?
They're yellow instead of red.
Okay.
He's too, like, you can see him clearly because of his size, but he was like a couple miles away.
Right.
Hard to tell.
So that pylon? What is it? What color is that?
Blue.
Can I tell that from here? Blue?
Like blue. It's got that like blue-white light coming off of it. It's not cyan, but it's like blue-white, right?
Yeah, I get you. It's okay.
And its energy is like extending through the top of the cave that all of this is in. And like I really need you to grasp the scale at which you're seeing this stuff. Like, let me put it this way. That column rising from the stone plain up through the top of the cave is the Sword Coast.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, I cannot overstate the scale of this stuff.
This is some Gigantomaxia level shit.
Yes. Like, the structures around the pylon, like, each of those is a city.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, now you're getting it. There was probably, like, because you're in an elevated position, there's probably 30, 40 miles of plain between you and the pylon, and even then, the plain doesn't start until, like, 10 miles beyond the thing that you're standing on?
Mamma mia, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's big. It's real big.
Sorry, coping with the fear an area of that scale instills, but also the strange claustrophobia. It's like backwards claustrophobia.
Agoraphobia is what it's called. I have it.
Which is funny, because I don't have that normally.
But you have it now, friend!
Assuming that this is that, the elemental plane of Earth is terrifying.
Yes, valid.
You like dragons? I mean, not really. We got dragons. Oh, good. You like purple worms? Not really. We got purple worms.
I mean, it was red, but I get your meaning.
You like things that look like they should be alive but are made of rock, I guess? You want a dragon? Not particularly.
So yeah, like you got some rolls to make, some questions to ask, or you can continue to see where this dream takes you.
So my immediate thought,
Mm-hmm.
right? The dragon, quote unquote dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Is it coming towards me?
No,
Is it, can I tell?
It came out of the deep sea, and it flew over the plain.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it turned so you could see it in profile by the light of the pylon, and you saw that it was a dragon.
Okay.
Yeah. Fair question.
Honestly, I kind of want to see where this is taking me.
Okay. So what are you gonna do?
Probably keep heading down, if that's possible.
Can you make a dexterity saving throw, please?
Yeah, I can fail a
you?
dexterity. Yeah, I can fail a dexterity saving throw.
Cool. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so you go past this hole, and you realize why something went through this that wall and made that hole, is because it starts to slope down considerably, and your hooves fly out from under you, and you land on your butt, and soon you're on the worst crazy slide of your life.
Oh God.
And we smash cut to the end of the slide, which connects to another like biome, basically like under the plane. And so you like go down into the deep sea area. You go down the bottom of that, and we see the bottom of the slide. We see Dawn come into view, ramp off, and then tumble through sand and dirt. Not sand. Sorry, like dirt and stone. To a stop. You're laying in a field of flowers is the best way that I can describe this, except you're Alice in Wonderland sized.
Oh God.
But the flowers are not flowers. They're crystals that look like flowers. So
I have never encountered a description of an area I adore so much and want to leave because Dad picked me up. I'm scared.
You're standing in like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids style plane of glass, basically, is the best way that I could describe this. The stalks of the plants are this incredibly fine crystal that leads up into delicate flower shapes, some of which are glowing, some of which are not, but you're like moving through this forest of crystal as you get to your feet. It is wondrous until the dewback walks by.
The what now?
You remember when Luke and Obi-Wan go to Mos Eisley? And they first get there, and that big lizard trundles past. Remember? It's like laden with goods. You know what I'm talking about? Star Wars: A New Hope.
I haven't watched Star Wars.
Okay. Requisite giant thingy. Except it's not literally a lizard creature. It's got 4 legs, and it has a head, but its central body is a mountain?
Hold on. Wait a minute. I have a thing for this.
I think it look. Yeah, thank you, Cookie. Not what I meant. You have a thing for this? I think there's a Pokemon that looks like this, actually.
What, Torterra?
No, not Torterra. It's literally like a walking geode.
It's a Unova Pokemon, ain't it?
I think so, yes.
I got it.
Yeah, the Rock and Rollo line.
Sorry. You
Maybe?
made me think of this boy.
Let me see.
And
Not that big, but similar concept, yes.
you made me think of these boys, which I know they're a little big, but they're immediately
Yes,
where
there,
my
there we
mind
go.
went.
What cookie link? What is that called, Cookie?
That is called Gigalith.
Gigalith?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
it looks like a gigalith. It's got stumpier legs, and the head is forward, not up. But it's basically like the elemental that you link backstage. I'd show Chad if I could. Cross with a gigalith. It's like got the crystal. That's a little bit more what it looks like. It's got 4 legs. Yes, Vader. Thank you. It's
Does it have visible eyes?
it has a visible head. Like you can make out a head on the front of it. Yeah, but it's got like crystals on all of its limbs, and then it's got the big like geode on its back that looks like vaguely mountainous. It's like pillared at the top. It's glowing like purple crystals. As it walks by, and to be absolutely clear, Shadow of the Colossus. Like Dawn is dwarfed by everything here.
Good mama fucking Mia, bro. May I simply add,
This thing is moving through the crystals and just shattering them. So there's this like trail of like crystal shards behind this thing as it goes.
I suppose shards of Eravane, if you would.
No.
Sorry. The joke was low hanging. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Um,
And it like walks laterally in front of Dawn. Like it's not coming at him. It doesn't clear a path for him. It's like walking just to give you a sense of scale of where you are.
okay. God, that puts me at a loss because like the only real thing to do is like keep going.
Keep going? Okay. I mean, you're in a dream, so nothing bad can happen, right?
In
I knew-
theory, but this
I
is
knew-
Odia. This is DA, so anything could happen.
I knew you were gonna say right, and I was dreading it.
So you continue on, like you let the walking mountain pass, and you keep going through the crystal forest, and the flowers are replaced by like tree-like structures, like bulbous, like tentacle-like, well, I guess tentacle-like crystals with like bulbous glowing growths on them become like the trees to the flowers as you keep going, and the deeper you go, the bigger they get. And eventually you find a wall in front of you, and in that wall there is a hole, a tunnel, if you will, and that tunnel is directly in front of you, but substantially bigger on all sides than Dawn is. Like aircraft hangar?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Goody goody. Okay. Fear of God. Thank. I'm guessing this is not like natural formation. This is like something made this.
I mean, make a survival check?
Do 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 do.
Probably not. Probably not natural.
Hard to say, but probably not. Honestly, like, God, it's starting to get a little hesitant, but keep going. Like for
Okay.
Dawn, it's starting to become like maybe this is too far.
Like, yeah,
As
like
he's
what is
walking.
Dawn's mood? What is Dawn's thought process during this?
So far, this has been nothing but like in a word, Charlie entering the factory.
Okay, fair.
Like, there has never been anything that has felt more like Earth Mother than this.
And it's funny that you say that. You enter the tunnel and you start walking, and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller until Dawn can still walk comfortably, but it's more like a cave that you'd be familiar with.
Mm.
And you
Good.
start to smell water.
Ah. You know, it's funny. You never really think about like how well you can smell water until you're like, oh yeah, I'm surrounded by nothing but fucking rocks.
Uh-huh.
I think it's like, oh, that's the smell of water. Pick up the pace a little bit.
Okay, so you come out of the cave and you step into a stream. I say you come out of the cave. You come out of one tunnel and you're in another one. It's bigger than the one that you just came out of, what it had shrunk to. I know that was a little confusing.
Come out of one, enter a much more wet tunnel.
Yes, there's a stream going down the middle of it. It extends to your left around a bend, and it extends to your right, and it seems to, like, the water's flowing to the right, and it seems to go downward, and you can hear a lot of water.
Like waterfall style?
Yes.
Probably not going to go to the direction of the waterfall.
Okay.
Or wait. This leaves me in a difficult situation.
Uh-huh. Go on. Go on.
Okay. Here's the T. I'm gonna roll D20.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's odd, I'm going towards the sound.
Okay.
If it's even, I'm not.
Okay.
That's a lie. I'm going towards the sound.
So you follow the stream.
Yes.
You follow the stream, like, downward through this cave. It opens up into what I can only describe... You've played Legend of Zelda, right?
Bits and pieces.
Cool. If I say Azora hallway, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like the like Roman aqueduct style, like stream down the center hallway. To your right is just solid cave wall. To your left, you can see it spiraling down into a basin. And on that basin, there is an oasis. What?
I just, like... The vivid image of this is just wow.
Oh, I'm about to get better. As you follow the stream down, the stream is a purposeful spillway, because when you get down into the oasis section, you're standing on a strip of manicured earth with a raised barrier on either side, with the water going down beneath you, and directly in front of you there is a semicircle from like 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock of just waterfalls spilling down from elsewhere in the cave. Now, that would be beautiful, except there's a gigantic problem. There's 5, 6 stone giant corpses in this oasis area with, like, spears and arrows sticking out of them.
Whoa.
And there is, you know this in your heart, a dead goddess in the middle of the oasis. She is feminine in the way like an old fertility idol is feminine, if that makes sense. You know what I mean when I say that?
Yeah.
Cool. She's carved from stone, a little bit like ogroid in the face. She's got like carved from stone, but she's got like orc-like tusks, kind of the like bulbous features of an ogre. She's got like she's adorned with jewelry that is equal parts carved out of her and placed on her frame. She's dead. She's like sprawled out on her side. She's bleeding like oil, like black viscous tar like oil into the perfectly clear blue like waters around you. And near her corpse there's a spear with a banner on it that you don't recognize. I'm gonna give you the chance to ask some questions before I wake you up.
And what's the shape of like the symbol on the banner?
The shape of the symbol on the banner is kind of like the Earth Nation symbol, except shattered. It's a circle with some not concentric, with some stacked rectangles on it, but then they have purposefully been broken and put off center.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does the spear look like the spear with the banner?
Mhm.
Does it look particularly unique in design?
Its size is something to make note of. It's quite large. It's not as large as the stone giants. Also, the goddess is huge. I should specify that. She's bigger than the stone giant.
I figured.
But the spear is small for them, but it is classified as a huge weapon. Kind of like savage, and I use that word to mean primitive and dangerous in its construction. It's a piece of metal tied to a tree trunk, basically. But the spearhead, it's almost like glass. It looks like it's designed to shatter when it hits something. And cause a wound.
Right. Is that oily blood? Is it like properly is it like proper dilution of the water, or is the water
I understand what those words mean. What do you mean by proper?
Like, I guess the extra context come in what I was going to say next.
Okay.
Or is the water somehow filtering it out?
Oh, the water is like the waterfalls are huge. Like it's like Niagara Falls, dude. Like
okay,
massive amounts of
so,
water, and it's all going under this oasis that you're standing on. So there's a line of this black ichor like in the basin, but it is being it's being purged.
Okay.
I think what Gamzee meant was, is it mixing with the water or is it staying separate?
Definitely staying separate.
Okay. Are the way the stone giants are, like their corpses, do they seem like they were here defending, or do they seem like the attackers?
It's impossible to tell without knowing who the other party was, but they were certainly in conflict.
Okay.
The arrows sticking out of them are much smaller than what a stone giant would use. The arrows are like normal-sized arrows.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do I... Okay. I'm betting the answer is probably not. Do I know of any groups that would make a spear like this, that would, instead of just making a normal spear?
I mean, it like you're talking about like with the shattering head.
Yeah.
No. like, at a rough guess, like, it's meant to inflict pain, which is, like, the domain of Lolth or Grumpsh or Malar, but this could be a Gnoll banner, this could be an Orc banner, this could be, like, a Tor banner.
I tell you one thing, Dawn is committing that symbol to memory.
Oh, certainly. Do you do anything with the corpse of the goddess?
Okay, this is a dumb way of wording this, but she's like dead as hell, yeah?
Oh yeah, no, she's very dead.
Okay.
She
The
is laid the fuck out and been here for a bit.
Can I get to the corpse?
Yeah.
Because the immediate thought is, like, get a better, like, understanding of the blood.
Okay. The blood is coming out of her neck and, like, spilling onto the oasis that you're standing on, and then that's spilling over the, like, pooling and spilling over the side into the basin.
My thought is, like, head over to her and, like, get a little bit from a low a way of wording it is a lower portion of her.
Right.
Because I feel like as soon as that pang hit Dawn's heart, that he kind of knew he was already walking towards it.
Okay.
And he's gonna feel the stuff, see if it's like normal blood.
So
Because
you're gonna touch the blood of the goddess.
Hey,
You sure you want to do that?
motherfucker, making me feel like I'm gonna commit heresy.
I mean, a bit.
If you understand the wound and what is coming out of it, you can seal it.
Are you touching the blood of the goddess? Home dog.
I am Guy Gamzillis. You know the fucking answer.
Okay. Excuse me. Then I'm gonna need you to make a saving throw based off of your spellcasting modifier.
Oh jeez. Okay, so wisdom.
Oof.
Oof.
That
Oof,
wasn't
bad.
high enough.
Oof. Oof. You don't.
So you touch it, and it coats your fingers, and as you go to pull your hand away to, like, examine it, because the distance between your eyes and your hands is not inconsiderable.
Right.
It begins to spread over your hand, like, completely, like, not like trickling down your fingers, like it covers your hand and begins to race up your arm, leaving this, like, onyx shell behind it. And it proceeds to cover your body, and then come up to your head, and as it covers your eyes and nose before, like, your whole body is encased in this onyx stone, you wake up covered in sweat. You probably wake up with, like, one of the others, like, shaking you awake. If anybody wants to volunteer, feel free.
Lash might probably be the one doing it because she wants to check in with Dawn because she didn't do it last night after they both survived the fucking C4.
So yeah, so Lash, like, you're having a little trouble sleeping because you're recovering. Like, you see Dawn, like, very clearly, like, in distress.
And since that probably isn't too uncommon for Lash to witness, she's gonna try and wake him up.
Yeah, so you, like, shake him awake, and you're like, Dawn, like, the last thing you remember is this, like, sludge, like, covering your eyes and nose, and then you're in the tent when Lash shaking you awake.
Right. I think the immediate response is, like, this deep, like, gasp, like his lungs had emptied sometime in his sleep.
Right.
and he's like immediately scrambling for something to write on.
Right. I think you can find something easily enough. I think your scrambling will wake up the others, though.
I'm sorry. I apologize to everyone. Eh, we are past that concern at the moment.
Okay. I mean, it's time for you guys to get up anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah. Lash just wakes him up and he starts scrambling. Everything good?
I need pen.
You have one.
I need
What?
paper. And as soon as he gets the stuff, he's like drawing that symbol.
Yeah.
And
so,
he's getting a sketch of the spear down.
So it's a circle with like a longer rectangle at the bottom and then 2 layers of 2 rectangles above it, but they're not like stacked neatly. They're like there's like a slash drawn diagonally through them and they're like splintered and they're off center. Like a samurai got to him basically.
Yeah. He's putting that down, making a smaller sketch of the spear, and doing his best to make a sketch of like the goddess's face.
Yeah. So
Is he like just dropping these as he's doing them, or are they like in a stack?
I mean they're probably all on one piece of parchment. For
Yeah.
the
Fair.
goddess's face, I'm gonna need you to make. Are you proficient with persuasion?
I am not.
Okay. Not persuasion, sorry, performance.
I am still not.
Okay. That's good. Because I need you to make a performance check with your dexterity.
So
So replace one modifier with the other.
we add 1 onto this.
Okay. Wow. Okay. You're able to make a pretty good like facial capture. That being said, Lash, you're probably looking over his shoulder. He's just drawing an ogre, like a female ogre.
What are you working on? Because like she isn't going to just assume that that's a female ogre. She's going to assume that's what he saw in his sleep, and that's what distressed him. So she's trying to figure out what he knows.
Makes that noise like, oh god, I haven't breathed in the last minute.
Right.
Goddess.
What? Can Lash make like a religion check for this? Because it's not gonna go well. Never hurts to try.
You cannot.
Doesn't make sense to her.
No. That's no goddess
What?
you know about. By the way, the rest of you are awake if you want to be involved in this.
By the stars, oh, what's up with all this noise?
Oh,
Sounds like
oh,
dawn's
he's
up.
like he's doing that thing that children do when they're in a panic.
Right.
Like half skittering on his legs, half trying to get up with the paper in hand.
Right.
Alright, what's this about a goddess?
You know the symbol, elf. Irithir, do you know the symbol?
So yeah, so
Takes a look at it.
It's a circle. It's 5 rectangles, 1 long one at the bottom, 4 stacked on top of it, 2 by 2. But it's not neatly packed together. It like somebody took a samurai sword to it and just like split it diagonally. You can make a history check, but you'll have disadvantage.
Yeah, worth a shot.
Lash is probably not
Yikes.
wearing the war banner, so
Oof.
I don't know if that was of any help.
With disadvantage, you do not recognize it.
I've never seen it before.
I need.
What's this about?
I had another dream. It was.
Take a deep breath and explain calmly.
I had a dream. I theorize I may have been in the plane of Earth. There were beasts and places and things beyond the scale of even giants. There was a pillar that reached into the ceiling. Looked so large it could have been the entire Sword Coast itself. There's a dragon made of yellow crystals. There were worms made of rings and rock. And there was her. He like raises the paper and taps the face.
A
A
female
goddess.
ogre.
Goddess.
Shrugs kind of helplessly.
Like
He was-
a bit tuskier than the average ogre, but like for all intents and purposes, it's a drawing of an ogre.
He was surrounded by stone giants, and all of them, including her, were dead. She had this spear stuck in her side.
No. The spear with the banner on it was beside her.
Oh, the
Yes,
spear was,
kind of.
she had this spear at this symbol next to her.
There you go.
Does Irithyr have any way to parse this information?
If you want to make a religion check with disadvantage, dog, you can certainly try.
I'll try. Better than not trying.
Yeah, valid.
On that track?
I honestly think Dawn is like trembling.
That's a decent roll for disadvantage. Fuck. You do not know of a goddess of stone giants. Let me start there. But there are plenty of people who want to kill divine entities. And certainly, like, superior elementals would be in the plane of that element, and ostensibly they could have, like, deific power. I mean, fuck, giants can give, like, specific giants can give people, like, warlock powers, so why not elementals, right? Like, completely reasonable. But anything specific? Like, if you wanna tie a nature check to that, you won't have disadvantage on the nature check to see if you can determine, like, any of the creatures he's describing. If you've heard about them in the elemental plane of Earth, I'll let you, but he's not making a great deal of sense, as dreams don't often make a great deal of sense.
Uh-huh. I'll try.
Okay. Nope.
No.
Your field of study is the stars. Beneath your feet is a different scholar's work.
I would ask if Lash can make a check similar, because Underdark, but this is the elemental plane of Earth, not the fucking...
Well, no, here's the thing. The Underdark touches every other plane.
Fair.
So, if you want to make a religion check with disadvantage, you can.
Alright.
Chances are low, but never zero.
Yeah, valid.
Yeah.
Well, you say never zero, but insidious failures can happen.
Yeah.
With that roll, you've certainly never seen places like Dawn is talking about, I will say.
Yeah, just shakes head.
If this is the elemental plane of Earth you're talking about, it could be any number of things. Potentially even certain powerful elementals could attain a certain level of deific power.
This wasn't the feeling of this might be something deific. It was, this is a goddess. There was...
I don't know. I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about.
There were waterfalls all around her. I didn't know there'd be water in the plane of...
The elemental planes intersect each other. You can find traces of other elements in each plane.
Does that mean there's a plate of mud?
From the sound of things, Dawn was in it.
Yeah,
Like-
earth and water.
It looked like that pillar had cities around it. Dozens of small towns.
I should clarify.
Sorry, no, I just realized what I said. That those were not small towns.
No, they were single structures. They were just the size of cities.
Yeah. Sorry.
You good?
The pillar had structures. Each of them bigger than that moot. 100 times over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say to discount what you saw because it was a dream, but I cannot help you.
I need Hallowstone. I need Far Mountain. Not Far Mountain. Oh, what was his name?
Who?
The chief of Hallowstone.
The chief of House of Beckoning Fire.
Beckoning Fire.
Beckoning Fire.
Yeah, he's just like, I need Hallowstone. I need Beckoning Fire. And then that like noise, like, fuck, I don't know if he's alive.
Yeah, right. So, to everyone who can see Dawn's scribbles,
Mm-hmm.
ogre shaman are not unheard of. They're not very smart, but they exist. Stone giants, all giants are relatively intelligent. Like, you can have a conversation with them. If you could find a stone giant or an ogre, since those seem to be the two things that Dawn keeps talking about, maybe that would give you something? You're at the foot of the mountains. Something to consider.
Would Lash know of any, like, unbroken tribes out here, or no?
Of orcs?
Yeah, basically.
This close to the Dale? You're not gonna like my answer.
Is it Deep Shade?
Yeah, it's fucking Deep Shade.
Figures.
It's Deep Shade and
Son
Red...
of a bitch!
Deep Shade and Red Spears.
Fucking Deep Shade.
Fucking Deep Shade, and I basically told Red Spear, hey, appreciate the offer, but kindly fuck no.
Yeah, basically.
So I don't think either of them are gonna be... And I beat the ass of 3 of their people and handed them over to the dwarves when they started shit, so I don't think Deep Shade's too inclined to help us.
I mean...
Honestly, the stone giant
It's
thing...
something to keep in mind, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, the stone giant thing ain't too bad of an idea.
I
like,
mean...
traditionally, aren't stone giants a group that, like, abhor justice more than anything?
Abhor
fair-
justice?
No, sorry. They're all about it. They're all about fairness.
No,
Uphold justice.
Those are cloud giants.
What?
Yeah.
I thought...
I don't think stone giants are good. Especially not in Storm King's Thunder.
No, but I thought that they were, like... I thought I had read something a long time ago that said that they were all about it.
I believe stone giants are like Ents from Lord of the Rings.
From what I'm reading, stone giants are neutral and basically just they won't fuck with you if you don't fuck with them.
Yeah, Ents. Yeah, but Storm King's Thunder.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they're more like Ents. They're not lawful evil like frost giants and fire giants are. I'll give you that much, but they're not your friends.
If we go fucking with them, we'd better give them a good reason to fuck with us.
Yes. And then there's the whole, like giants are coming back, so they might be up to something weird. Like, listen, you've seen enough frost giants at this point to be like, these frost giants are acting weird.
Right.
The fact that they're here, for one thing.
Yeah, but, like, they're soldiers in an army that's not really... Like, you have dealt with enough frost giants at this point that Dawn would be like, we can ask a stone giant. I have no idea what they're going to be doing right now. I don't know if that's a good idea. Like,
I like that. I really do like that thought. Dawn's like looks at his like sword, remembers that what was said about the runes and all that, and he's like, the stone nope. Nope. Nope.
I mean, if you
thinking about trying to just
if you
I
find good,
I think I figured out where you got that from, though, Don, because in the Rune Knight pages, the stone rune says the rune's magic channels the judiciousness associated with stone giants.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I knew they were
That's probably what I
judicious.
got.
But no, like here's something to keep in mind, right? If you find yourself in a position where a stone giant owes you a favor,
judicious isn't justice; it's having good judgment.
correct. You could be like, I'm gonna cash in that favor. Do you know who this is? Like,
You got a 50-50 of getting your ass beat or getting some good info.
you have a much better chance of getting info from that than going up to a random giant and be like, excuse me, I had a dream.
like, yo, nerds!
Like, that's more 50-50 of getting your ass beat or getting told to fuck off. Like,
Right. Damn. I think like the thought that he can't figure any of this out right now just leads him to want to make his way back to more paper and
Okay.
just keep drawing stuff he saw
okay, what do you draw?
until I think he draws like the flowers, the worm.
Okay, for the worm, I need you to make another performance dexterity check. Because the flowers are just going to look like flowers, right? Like, okay.
So that's 16.
So that's 16. So make a note that your drawing is a 16 for the earth borer.
I need to find my notes.
Because that's a solid roll.
It is indeed.
So if I ask you, like, how good is that drawing, you can be like, 16! And an 18 for the goddess's face.
18. I want it,
Go ahead.
another one I think I want would be like, honestly, the pillars, or the pillar.
Pillar. Yeah,
Pylon.
totally.
That's another roll, right?
It is. Hey, Lash,
Yeah.
can you make a perception check for me, please, off of that 16?
Oh shit. Oh well.
Sure.
Yeah, you can make a pillar, but like you can't get the stones in the right configuration, and you can't like. Damn, Lash. Okay.
Yeah. Shit.
That is a 29 on that perception. When he's drawing
Appreciative whistle noises.
when he's drawing the worm thing, you're like I think Lash literally just says, "Fuck."
Yeah. No. It's looking around, looks at the paper, looks up, looks at the worm thing. Fuck.
Yeah,
Well-
like the literal translation of the Orcish word for what that is it's a living avalanche.
Lovely.
That.
They are gigantic, boring creatures that they put frostworms to shame. Like,
Yeah.
these things split the Underdark. These things are like bullets will come out of the ground and just like make a rock slide. These things take out the tunnel. Like
if Dark Driver encounters these things, and this is where we get the fuck out of Dodge and let that do our job for us.
you realize looking at this, like, we see Lash look at the image, we see the flash from Dawn's dream, and then we see the flash of the river snake that you guys encountered.
Yeah.
And, like, the reason you said fuck Lash is because you realized, oh, this is what the Forgotten based that Guardian on.
Yeah. Okay, that tracks.
That's just lovely.
Yeah.
That's what me, Sibs, has been thinking about all the time. Oh, so kind of like the Guardian thing, but it wasn't my seed.
Yes,
so,
it is.
No.
Yes, this is what the Forgotten base the shape of the Guardian on is these fuckers.
So just loudly, Lash just looks at the paper, looks away, looks back at the paper. The fuck?
These things, like this isn't like Dart Driver goes and deals with. This is like, okay, that tunnel is not accessible anymore.
Yeah. That sounds like whoever's living in that tunnel problem, so that means less work for us?
Like, you venture down into the Underdark as an unbroken orc. Let me be absolutely clear that who's the big dog in the Underdark? Drow, right?
Yeah,
Like,
they're the ones who rule the Underdark. That's where they
Wait, I thought they were spiders, not dogs.
This fucking Earthborer destroys Drow cities.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So would it be out of, like, a bit of a reach for Lash to kind of be like, well, I know why that Guardian somewhat seemed familiar?
Yep. This thing is like I'm speaking in terms of legend. Let me be absolutely clear with what I'm about to say. I'm speaking in terms of legend, right? Rumor among the Underdark. This thing is just south of Tarask.
Oh god.
Yeah, Lash just kind of like has this look on her face of, oh, holy shit, that makes so much sense, but still, holy shit.
Yeah, these things come around like once a generation in the entire Underdark. And they never stick around very long, but if they show up in the wrong place, you are fucked. Like...
Broken, unbroken, Drow, Orc, Derugar, Deep Gnome, bye.
Yeah.
There goes everything you've just been working on, and half of your friends and your family and you.
Yeah.
There's more than one, like... Actually thinking about it, Irithyr, like, how much do you know about other elf cultures? In terms of their art, specifically.
Probably not too familiar, but he has, like, passing knowledge about all that stuff.
With the passing knowledge, you know how, like, Greek tragedies, like, they made Deus Ex Machinas, right?
I didn't know that, but I get your point.
Like, the only way for the main character in this Greek play to get out is if the gods intervene, that type of thing.
Basically, the Drow do not get out of an encounter with one of
No. What I was going to say was, in Drow art, in story and playwright and picture, like, the Deus Ex Machina for the Drow is either Loth, a big spider, or an Earthborer. Like...
Yeah.
Ah, awful.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. That's what that is. Do with that information what you will, Lash.
Yeah, no, Lash just fuck. Well, I get why that fucking firstborn thing looked pseudo-familiar. I guess this is what they based it on.
Like, looks at Lash. It's like...
The living avalanche, which is the closest translation to how that's said in common, is pretty fucking bad. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
I think I might have seen a depiction of this in a piece of Drow art once.
Alright, if they based it off this thing, I don't want to meet the Muse.
Oh, trust me, you don't.
Wait. Gonna try to draw the other thing he saw.
The walking mountain?
Yeah.
Okay. Lash, nature check, please.
Okay.
Should I roll for this too?
Yeah, make the performance check, and then Lash will roll. Okay, Lash will roll the nature. That's fine. Damn, Lash!
What?
Okay, so my luck is getting better.
What the fuck? You're stealing my luck.
The good news is she gave you advantage, so she recognizes it.
Woohoo.
So this thing is I don't know what the Orcish word would be. Bear with me, but there are like different grades of elemental, as you can expect. Like elemental creatures come in various shapes and sizes, but there's also like different. Like an easy way to think of it would be like if you took like Scout's designation of corruption. Like the longer an elemental spends on the material plane, the more it looks like the material plane.
Okay.
Right? This is like one of the grades of elemental that doesn't come to the material plane. This is like it's stayed and shaped by the elemental plane of Earth. But comparably, not that big, not that strong. It's a prey animal. Suffice, like, let me put it that way. Like, it's a I can't say herbivore because you're in the plane of Earth, but like it
isn't going to attack something like that you can basically get quote unquote meat from. It's going to like eat those crystalline flowers.
Yes,
It's an herbivore.
It's a crystalivore.
It's a terravore.
Gracie, how dare
Terravore. It is about the equivalent in like common zoology that you guys would know. It's about the equivalent of like a rhinoceros.
Okay.
So it has to get taken by a big predator, but it is ultimately just a big prey animal. Yeah.
I don't want to know what the hyenas of the elemental plane of Earth are like.
You're right, you don't.
I had an idea for what the Orcish word translates to.
Okay.
And it's something along the lines of passive stone almost.
Yeah, right? Like or like walking mountain. That's what I've been referring to them as.
Yeah, like he just looks at it and goes and just her eyes perk up, something in Orcish.
You only see this in like the deep Underdark. Like when you're in the Underdark to a degree that you're like, we're not in Kansas anymore. Like
yeah.
So if it's a food item, does that make it rock candy?
Yes.
And that's a deep Underdark thing. They're passive for the most part, but tells.
I wanna make something very clear about planar travel in D&D in general and in Faerun in specific.
Yeah.
Most planar travel is via like glowing portal or something like that. But there's a couple of planes, I refer to it as planar bleed, that just kind of intersect with the material plane, and you can go to a different plane without realizing it, and that's where a lot of like superstitious stuff comes from. These being the plane of water, specifically the Feywild and the Underdark.
I was gonna say the Marsh of Chalimber is just bleed from the plane of water.
Right. And so in the Underdark, like there is a point in time where it goes from cave or otherwise underground system in Faerun to someplace else entirely. And usually you don't notice that transition until you're in the other one, because that's just how planar travel works.
Yeah.
And this walking mountain is decidedly after you realize you're in the Underdark and have gone considerably further.
Yeah, like it's the kind of thing where Lash, would Lash have witnessed one of these, or she heard stories from older members
stories
of
for
Dark
sure. These things don't bleed over very often.
Fair. Yeah,
Like,
Lash.
I'll give you a pass. Maybe you encountered an earthborer, but not one of these.
Like the Earthborer was and we're turning around right the fuck now. What?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And Lash then never questioned her captain ever again.
Nope. So, there's your information on that.
So, pardon fuck, awful.
Yes.
Well, I can tell you one thing, it was almost certainly the plane of Earth.
Yes, valid.
Yeah.
It is decidedly not home. And he looks at,
and yet
and it's like he touches the drawings. There's never been a place that felt more home.
All right.
The ice is where I lived. It is where I was born. It is where I grew.
Something occurs to you in this monologue that did not occur to you at all previously, Don. You weren't cold.
It wasn't cold. I was so deep underground, it should have been cold.
If anything, you felt heat from the pylon.
How? He's like going to himself, like, how can something like that produce that much heat?
Imagine being close to it.
Yeah, like this realization is crossing his mind, and he's slowly just like getting this. What's the way to put it? He's getting this dark realization kind of look.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could never have gone near that thing if I wanted to. It's like a son of the underground.
I'm pretty sure Dawn is a son of the underground.
Do I know anything specific about the elemental plane of Earth?
Make an Arcana, history, or religion, whichever you think is the most relevant, check.
They're all +7.
But they
Wow,
give but
look at you.
they give you different types of information. So
Nerd.
Yeah. Let's go with Arcana.
okay. Questions about the magical nature of the Underdark.
That's not an amazing roll.
You have 3
You get-
questions.
You also get the lore banner. One moment.
Oh, that's true.
War Banner has just been changing everything. I adore it.
Hey, aren't you guys glad I gave it to you? Okay, so that gives you a modified 15, so you have 3 questions.
I had 3 questions with 12.
4 I meant to say fuck. Fucking fuck. Yes, 15 is 4 questions. Sorry.
Everybody misspeaks sometimes.
You're right. So 4 questions about the magical nature of the elemental plane of Earth. Allow me to give you some information. Obviously, Earth spells are increased in power. Life spells are usually increased in power.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Wind spells are reduced. Like,
Does that include lightning
Makes
bolt?
sense.
yes, it does. It includes lightning bolt. Like, conjuration spells are reduced.
Okay.
On
I should
top,
be putting this in the notes.
you want me to wait? You want me to wait?
I've got my notes out.
Okay. On top of that, there is more magical dead space in the elemental plane of Earth than the other elemental planes. There's like anti-magic zones in the elemental plane of Earth. There's like natural and placed. It's also kind of a final resting place for a lot of things magically, like latent magical energy that's like the residue of a spell sinks into the ground and eventually makes it to the elemental plane of Earth and becomes this like bedrock of magic that can cause some unexplained phenomena, which is where a lot of elementals come from. Given form, there is, with all of the elemental planes, there is a semi-sentience to the plane itself that abhors outsiders, but doesn't always directly like forsake them, for want of a better word. And then on top of that, you have 4 questions regarding the magical nature of the plane of Earth.
Okay. That's already a lot of information.
Yes, it is. Well, you rolled decently.
Yeah.
I try to give general information and then answer questions to, like, give you specific stuff. That's the way I like to do knowledge checks.
It is
Alright.
the best, and I'm gonna try doing that
Thank you.
because that's just good.
Man, I'm not sure what sort of questions to ask. If anyone has any suggestions.
There was a lot that would normally be asked covered in that too.
I mean, I'm content to let you guys ponder that for a few minutes if you want.
Mm-hmm.
I got nothing, Chiefs.
I had a whole thing planned for tonight, but because of the lag, I've been improvising most of this. I hope it's been interesting.
It has been, and you're doing damn well.
Thank you.
It is surreal as fuck, but it's interesting.
Here's something I have learned.
When are Warlock Dreams not surreal as fuck, Birchmila?
You know what? That's fair.
Something I've learned. Every time the fox is like, I got a dream for you. You can just like sit down any anxiety you had because this is gonna be a good fucking time.
Thank you. I do tend to use them when I need to fill space. You're right about that.
Which, like, is a valid way to fill space because it's better than just saying, "Oh, the party sleeps," and then have dead air because nothing's happening.
Yeah, like I can't really move you guys forward because of all the technical difficulties, which I hope I can clear up before next session. But you know, might as well spitball some stuff.
May as well give Dawn some warlock dreams.
God.
If he had passed that save, I would have been like, "Do you want a level of warlock?"
God, fucking shoot me. What? Okay. On another point, that probably just made me sound like a jackass. What was just said?
A little bit.
What was just said? Because I just stubbed the shit out of my toe.
Oh, it was perfectly timed. I thought you were reacting. I think everybody here thought you were reacting to me.
No, I just stubbed the shit out of my toe.
It was perfectly timed and perfectly, like, an acceptable response to what I said. Right before you had your freak out, I said, if Dawn had passed that save, I would have been like, "Do you want a level of warlock?" And then you said that, and it was perfect.
Oh.
Yeah, that was comedically brilliant.
What you got, Vader?
That's disappointing.
What have I got?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Remember, the questions can build on themselves, so if you have a general question, it might open up something interesting for you to ask about.
Yeah. If Dawn had drawn that pylon better, I would have asked about that, unless I can ask about it anyways.
You can ask about it anyway, certainly.
Yeah.
But I need you to form a specific question.
Like, do I know about this pillar that Dawn is trying to portray?
Yes.
Well,
how do I put this? It's not divine, because that is too weak for what this is.
oh boy.
That...
What?
This is primal creation.
Yeah, close. Still not high enough.
This is ancient shit.
What the fuck is this?
I'm sorry, how could something get... Oh my god.
That is... Imagine Dimensional Anchor cast at 45th level.
Fuck.
Oh.
That's basically
dear.
what that is. That is the axis in which the plane of Earth rotates and intersects with other planes.
Is this where the stone giants killed the big powerful person, or am I
No.
misunderstanding the dream?
You're misunderstanding the dream.
Okay.
I could see it from where I was,
Yes.
and which, probably not hard considering it was probably the size of the goddamn Sword Coast.
Yes. It is. It's the center point of the elemental plane of Earth. I wish I had a pithy name for it, but I don't. I've been referring to it as the Pillar. But it's
the center of Earth.
Basically, it is the magical focal point of the entire plane. It's a massive dimensional anchor. If the mana on that runs out, or it's disrupted, or it's destroyed, the elemental plane of Earth will just spin off into oblivion, which will be very, very, very bad for everyone involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I remember. That pillar you saw is...
The Pillar.
Yes, it's the pillar. It's the focal point of the entire plane.
Waves of centers?
As much as... What's the planet called again?
I do not fucking know.
And Faerun is the continent, right?
Faerun is the world, I think.
World.
No, hold on.
It's not the planet, but it's like the universe is Faerun, I think. I don't know.
Well, Faerun is as a continent on the planet of Toril.
Toril, there you go.
Toril. I was gonna say, I was about to say Tamriel because that's so fucking close.
Yeah, right. There's probably a reason for that.
Yeah, fair.
As much as Toril has a center.
Toril absolutely has a center. Like, Irithyr, there's one of those on every plane.
Yeah. And every single plane has one of those.
It doesn't always look like that, but
they keep it anchored.
It's giving off heat.
There's immense amounts of magic in them.
What I'm wondering is why you were dreaming of it in the first place.
I think he grabs the runestone.
yeah,
you wouldn't be able to see that from just any point in the plane of Earth, would you? Because a lot of it's just rock.
Correct.
Like there are pockets, but like you'd have to be pretty close to the center.
Correct. Honestly, I was waiting for him to cast Tremor Sense.
I was 50-50 on if I could cast magic at all, and I just went with what I felt like was the safer option.
I mean, it's definitely the safer option. So you said you're going for the runestone?
Yeah.
It's not where you left it.
Oh god.
Oh.
So he reaches into his little bag, and it's just skibop, not there.
Yep.
And he's suddenly slightly frantic about finding it.
So you're like covered in fur, right?
Yeah.
When you focus on the runestone, the sickly green like Hallowstone rune ignites between your pectorals.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Dawn doesn't see this, but the rest of you do.
That's concerning.
Yeah, that's new.
What is?
Look down.
Inhales, exhales.
I don't think, even if he looks down, he's not going to be able to see it. He's got a muzzle.
Yeah, it's like, looks down. There's nothing at my feet.
You're looking for that Hollowstone thing, right?
Yes.
Pokes Dawn in the place where it is.
Thanks,
You don't
Chest.
feel anything, Dawn.
Well, the rune's right on your chest, so...
You see Runyak, like, jam his hand towards you, but you do not feel him touch you.
It's right there.
I think he like notices that and he's like, "Forgive me, Runyak." He like grabs his hand and like, or he like moves his hand and like starts prodding at his chest.
Brunyak's hand or Dawn's hand?
Dawn's hand.
Okay. God. This might mess you up a little bit, Gamzee, and I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to keep it light. You know how you've played Ark, right?
Yeah.
You know how the Ark player character has that stone embedded in their wrist and like the little like veins come off of it?
Yeah.
You got that in your chest.
Oh, but also incredibly cool. Heebity-jeebity minor trypophobia, but ooh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, sorry about that. How many magic items are you attuned to? Just out of curiosity.
I only had the sword.
Cool. Now you have another one.
Huh?
Oh dear.
You can cast locate object once per day, but you don't know what you're locating.
Interesting.
Oh.
Nani?
Yeah.
I've still got 3 questions, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Maybe 2, because I asked about about not being able to see that thing from
Nope.
anywhere.
Nope.
besides center.
That was just clarifying. You have 3.
Okay.
What do you got?
Oh god, I don't know.
Well, think about it while I'm giving Dawn trypophobia. It's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can cast locate object once per day, and it will lead you in a direction, but you don't know what you're locating yet. But like, you have the ability to do that.
I'm half tempted to just do it now.
Okay. Yeah. You feel a pull to the like northeast.
That's roughly the direction. No, we're going northwest, isn't it?
Correct.
No, we're going. If we're at the crossroads,
You'd be going north. Yeah.
no, we'd be going northeast, roughly.
Okay. To be clear, the angle is far sharper than the Icewind Dale, if that's what you're getting at.
All right.
So.
Well.
North. So if we're there.
If you're looking at the map, we're not looking at the map, so.
I know, I was getting my own bearings.
Okay.
Because I know I'm probably the only one that can do this right now besides Gracie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just sit over here in the corner, thanks.
Though if anyone wants to follow along at home, I'm pretty sure you can find maps of the region on Google.
Yes, and again, very, very sorry. Just, it's a frustration of tonight.
Hey, sometimes things happen.
True.
It's a step back that, we can easily regain.
Yes, it's more east than northeast, but it's, yeah.
I got a question.
So it's east-northeast.
Yeah. What's up, Vader?
I got a question about this.
Yep.
Do I know of any portals to the plane of Earth?
To be clear, when you say portals to the plane of Earth, you mean magical openings dedicated to going to the plane of Earth, right?
Yeah.
Yes. None of them are nearby, but yes, they exist. A surprising number of druid circles go there.
I wonder why.
Right?
Points out everything.
there are some like dwarven priests that carry a connection to the plane of Earth, like keep it active. I'm probably going to change this later, so bear with me, but I feel like a place like Feldspar would have one.
Feldspar?
Citadel Feldspar, I think that's how it's called. Felbar.
Don't know where the fuck
I will probably change that later, but just off my head, like a place like that would maybe have one. Mostly in like, places associated with the plane of Earth, right? So like a stone giant's den would potentially have one. Like off the top of your head, like wherever there are major magical places of learning, they will have like portal nexi.
There's probably one somewhere in a snow elf city.
Probably.
Maybe not Frostgate, but
or at the very least, the means to open one.
This is so cool.
Thank you.
So, I realize the irony of Breaking Dawn, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking love rocks.
I'm sure you do.
Nerd!
And I feel like a moron because the other day I was going through my closet and I found my old collection and I'm like, wow, you really have no depth as a person, Gamzee.
No, you're fine. You're fine, dude. I'm just trying to make the rocks as interesting as I can.
It is. And working.
Cool.
The rocks are incredibly interesting, as are the fucking abominations carved from them.
Mm-hmm.
You call them
as are figuring out whatever the fuck this runestone points to.
You call them abominations. I call them beings that are trying their best, and how dare you?
Yeah, fair.
Alright, I got another one. I mean, this might be obvious, but what sort of magical creatures inhabit the plane of Earth?
No, that's a completely valid question. Native born or expatriates?
That feels like a question you answer yes to. That's just...
Yeah, I was trying really hard not to say anything there.
I mean, I'm not quite sure what you mean, but
Do you not know what expatriates means?
Not really.
Immigrants. Short answer.
Yeah. So to say, like, do you mean like how earlier you were saying that elementals will slowly become more of the plane they're stuck on?
That is precisely what I'm referring to. Yes.
Honestly, both.
Okay. Natives of the elemental plane of Earth. Let's see. Elementals. I feel like that's a little bit too on the nose, but that's a wide variety of things.
That covers like the minute, the little stalagmite boys all the way up to the clattering mountains that drop universes on you.
Yeah, basically.
From mephits to mountains.
A surprising number of cast-off constructs find their way to the elemental plane of Earth. Giants, anything descended from stone giants. So that means like deep dwarves, deep gnomes. It means ogres, ogroid entities, goblins to a degree. None of these in the way that you know them, Irithir, but like their own type, right? Dragons, surprisingly, specifically, black dragons, not bronze dragons, sorry, brass dragons, and several gem dragons. Gem dragons are definitely the predominant dragon type in this area. As well as an offshoot of gem dragons are technically gem dragons, but for the sake of this, I refer to them as ore dragons. So they're basically like stone giant dragons, if that makes sense.
That's cool as shit.
Cool, awful, I want to go home. I'll take nope for 500, Charles.
A small amount of organic creatures that are not like humanoids or ogroids, to like sustain the ecosystem and to be like functional, right? Mostly cave dwelling creatures, mostly deep underdark cave dwelling creatures. So you've got like boulettes and cloakers, and like there's a couple of things that are like specific to the elemental plane of Earth in that vein. And this is the one that might surprise you. Intelligent humanoids. There are like less like class of creatures and more like class of person. Either like very religious, like keeping to the balance druid style people, or people who really want to get away from it all. Will find their way to the elemental plane of Earth. It is a little Mad Maxian, but not quite as violent. It's a little bit like that type of person would be there. Not a great deal of outward like conquering threats. Not a lot of devils, not a lot of demons, not a lot of like mind flayers or drow or things like that. A not insubstantial amount of orcs. Again, Underdark stuff in general. And then just build off of that, just like anything I didn't say that fits that general description would probably be there. I don't have an itemized list yet. I'm working on it.
Uh-huh. I've still got one more question. God,
Yep.
I don't know what to ask. I've got most of the information I could think of.
You could follow up on anything that I said, like get additional information about it.
Yeah. Anyone got suggestions?
I mean, I've got a suggestion, but I'm the GM. I don't think that would fly very well.
It's a note from me, Chief.
Sorry, I've got a headache again, so I'm currently trying to fight that off.
Oof.
Headaches are no fun.
No, they're not.
Especially with how frequent I've been getting them. This sucks.
Do you have like filtered lenses for your computer?
No.
I don't. My mom got terrible screen headaches, and I never did because I wear screen protective glasses all the time.
It's just been in the last 2 weeks that I've just been getting like 3 a week.
Mm.
Opposed to my 5 or 6 a year.
Fair.
Honestly, if anything, I'd like to know more about these ore dragons.
Okay. They are just the ore dragons specifically don't really leave the elemental plane of Earth, or occasionally they'll go to a different plane. They're not as magically inclined as their brethren. They are dragons. They can speak. They can do dragon things. They have a breath weapon. Blah 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 blah. But they can't really take humanoid form, and they're somewhat slower than other dragons. They're not. It's a little bit unclear if they are true dragons or not. Depends on who you ask, really. But they seem intelligent. They seem functionally to be like dragons. They can't change their form. They can't carry on a conversation quite as well. They're also not as aggressive. They're closer to King Kong than a dragon in terms of intelligence, if that makes sense. Like, they're shockingly intelligent. They can speak, but there's not a lot of Ore Dragon scholars, if that makes sense.
They're more durable than intelligent.
Yes. They're more very large predators than how dragons are kind of their own thing, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
If that didn't answer your question, I'll need you to refine it.
I was basically just asking for general information on them.
Okay. That's what I got.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. Given the technical difficulties and given, where we are, do we want to, call it there and pick the scene up next week? And give you guys some stuff to think about? We're only a couple minutes out anyway.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
I'm
Yeah.
fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Right, my head's getting me.
Let's,
one last thing before we dip. I can't remember. Does locate object give you a distance or just a direction?
just,
I believe it's just a direction.
I believe it's just a direction as well. That's what I was going to say.
Okay.
So,
But I'm guessing this isn't as limited by range as the spell normally is.
doesn't seem to be, no.
This actually locate object does. You get a sense of motion. You get a sense of direction of the object's location, as long as the object is within 100 feet of you. If the object is in
1,000.
motion, you know its movement.
Yeah.
But
It's 1,000 feet, but yeah.
Definitely further than 1,000 feet. So,
yeah,
let's do some shout-outs. Vader?
Hello, everyone. I am the Journeyman Vader. I'm a moderator on Kit's Discord and Twitch, and a streamer on Twitch myself. You can find me over in Kit's Discord on Twitch at twitch.tv/JourneymanVader or on Twitter at VaderSidious.
Nightfall could not join us tonight, so there's no reason to press Nightfall's button. Birch Miller?
Hey, I'm Birchmilla, aka Gracie. I do art and things for Kids Channel, and I also love tabletops. So if you like either of those things, give me a poke.
Cookie?
What up? I'm Cookie, also known as the Extinct Bacon on just about every other platform. I love a lot of things D&D and tabletop, and if you do too, my DMs are always open. Otherwise, you'll find me lurking in the stream or in the shrine.
Sibs?
Hi, my name is Sibs143. I am in no particular order a artist, a stagehand, and a moderator for Kit's Discord and Twitch, but to everyone else, I am a friend and the Technicolor Disaster. You can find me lurking in either Discord or Twitch chat, but if you ever need to talk to me more privately, feel free to shoot me a DM and we can talk there.
Gamzelis, finish us out, please.
ladies and gentlemen, I am Guy Gamzelis, the hero bard, teller of tales that need to be told, and there are a lot. I've been wandering the halls of my library, a little more delirious than usual from the constant headaches. But whenever I'm needed, you can always find me on the Discord, in DMs, or on Twitter at the Homestuck Until we meet again, have a fantastic rest of your night.
For my part, as ever, I am the Sharp-Eyed Kitsune, the teller of tales and the weaver of mysteries, the Masked Bard. This is the channel that is devoted to lore and storytelling, world-building, role-playing, and discussions of those things. So if that's to your fancy, you're in excellent company here, and I do hope that you enjoyed your time with us. I stream every single day that my health permits me to do so, and we're rolling with advantage in 2021 and beyond, which is 2 chances to get to give the stream. I'll be back on Saturday, at least I hope I will, with more Demon Souls in the afternoon, and we'll see where the evening takes us. If you want more tabletop goodness, it'll be on Sunday, the return of Tales of the Nightlight, a series of short stories meant to bridge 2 full-length campaigns. We'll be moving into Tyranny of Dragons once the art is finished. For now, I've had a rough week, and with the technical difficulties, we barely got through VOM. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up and leave you with these parting words. From myself and my keepers to all of you, and those joining me on the stage this evening, to all of you. The regulars, the followers, the newcomers, and the lurkers. Whether you're just having a seat by the fire or you've got a running tab at the bar, remember, there's always more stories to tell. And hopefully, I'll see you all next time for more Voices of the Mountain and a new chapter. Good night, you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, and hope to see you again soon.